And I want to welcome everyone to King James Bible University. I'm Elder Michael Johnson with the Lost Sheep of Israel. And we're actually going to be going through a few different things.
I want to welcome everyone to King James Bible University. I'm Elder Michael Johnson with the Lost Sheep of Israel.
And got a couple of things going on there. Sorry about that. But we want to address a couple of things. If you want to join us in Zoom and you have questions or you have comments live, you can look at the bottom. You can go in on the link below, which you can click on. You can join us in Zoom, but make sure that you have Zoom on your system or on your phone. If not, you can also call the numbers that's listed there below. And basically, we're going to be going through and looking at a lot of different things based on what's happening today, because it's getting more and more rampant and people saying different things. And what we want to do is understand exactly what is going on. And basically, we want to clearly understand also with theories and conspiracy setups, art of confusion, and basically what's going on right now. So I'm trying to just let people get in. If you want, you can go into the link below. You can link in, you can come into this, to the other side. And the main thing is, if it's not pertaining to what the subject is, I'm asking you guys not to come up just to bring up other conversations about something else, because we want to stay on topic, basically what's going on. So the saying with that is that we want to welcome everyone here, but based on what is going on, as I said, normally don't deal with a lot of stuff, but some of it we have to address also to let people know what is the art of confusion. We need to know what that is and how it works. And as I said, if you want to come in, you want to click in on the Zoom side, you're more than welcome to come in. We have the Zoom side actually open up to where you can come in on Zoom. And then if you have a question or comment based on the topic, you're more than welcome to come in. All you do is click on the link below. I'm trying to get to the link in another way to where I can paste the link right here in the chat in this area. 1 second, and we might be able to do that in 1 second, to where I'm trying to get that set up for you right now. And let me see here. And I have it here. So there's the link. If you guys want to come into the Zoom area, if you have questions or comments, and we can actually go through it again and we can look at this, and we're going to see a couple of things that goes on. Excuse me, with what is happening. So if you want to join in to the conversation, you can actually click on Zoom, you can come in. And also I ask when people come over there, do not come over there with names that you done made up or that you Yasharella. Come over there with your real name. You know, I'm not into that where people like to come in with these other names. I'm not into those. So you're more than welcome. Getting the people that's clicking over. If you don't have a Zoom account, make sure you get a Zoom account to where you can come in. If you don't, if you're doing it from your phone, you can actually call in. It has the number for that. And you guys are more than welcome to come in. So I just want to welcome everyone over, letting everybody come in, seeing who's there. So we're seeing a few people in here to make sure we understand what is happening. And we have pretty much what's in here right now. But what we want to do, we want to look at the art of confusion. The art of confusion. What is it? How do it look? The art of confusion is very straightforward. We have to look at it in a couple of different ways. And the art of confusion, it works on it keeps people uneasy. It'll keep you very uncomfortable at all times. But at the same time, as you're going through the art of confusion, you actually don't know what's going on at any time, because that's the confusing part. I'm trying to pull up something real quick, make sure they got this in there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you got to come in this way. Come in this way. Hopefully they got that. Yeah, they should have it. Okay, so we have quite a few people over here that's going through. We have actually quite a few people on this side. We have a lot of new people, it seems like. And what we want to do, we want to understand the art of confusion. Basically what it is, how it works, and what is the outcome of the art of confusion. Most people don't know it has an end game to this. So what basically happens is this. Art of confusion is the main way that you can be successful in doing something is where you can keep stuff in chaos, but it's in complete your control, but it's in complete chaos. And it'll make you very uneasy on what's going on. All we have to do is change your situation. Meaning what? If you normally do something every day, and you do the same thing every day, and next thing happens, they take one of those stops, whatever you do, they take that. It'll put you at unease, and it'll make you more confused about what's going on. It'll make you uneasy on what's happening around you. Why? Because your normal path that you normally go has changed. It's the same thing if you can be driving on the freeway, you always go this certain way on the freeway, and now your exit is changed. Now they have it blocked off for the next two exits. Now you sitting there, either you got to start getting off before the exit or get off a couple of exits after, even though you're very aware of the area, but now it makes you uneasy and it's confusing. Even though you know exactly where you are, it makes you uneasy. They do that for certain reasons. And they do that for reasons to keep you in confusion, to keep you uneasy. And they can do that based on the art of disguise with the art of confusion. Meaning they will do things to you as well as what this is going on here. We have this coronavirus that's going on. Now with this coronavirus, you have a lot of people that they saying are dying, technically not showing you anyone. So we're not saying that it's not happening. However, everybody's still doing pretty much as normal. Same as they had to shut down beaches because of what's happening. And now they saying people went to beaches and then they went home, and now double the people have it. However, we still looking for children and older people should be dying at alarming rates because they the ones that have the lowest immune systems. So they should be dying at alarming rates. However, that's not happening. Two, we have China, where they said China has a lot of that going on. But if you know art of confusion, you look back on what went on with China and the president that these people have here in America today, that they went to battle on different things. Now, the craziest thing is this. If anybody go back and you look at the, when Kobe died, and actually my sister even showed me that, when Kobe died, if you look at the LA newspaper, you'll see on the side, it has even there where Rush Limbaugh was actually trying to find something for the coronavirus. It's this image there and this pictures on the side. I wish I could find it to where I can actually show you that. And I'm just looking for it while we're doing this. But the main thing is the art of confusion works in ways to keep you unease. Let me see, I'm gonna see if I can find this. Kobe, let me see if I can find this. And I see a lot of it, they got blocked. I want to find this because people are selling them for different amounts. And I want this main one where they have it on there, because it actually has it on there. And I don't, yeah, so I'm gonna have to actually look for it to actually find it, because it's actually on that. And actually, here's one here. Which day is this one? I'm trying to find this one here. I got one here that's showing another thing. And they're not showing the whole page. They're not showing the whole page here. Because you have one with the Orange County Register, which is telling you about the coronavirus confirmed in LA, Orange County. It shows one there, but it has it in another place where it's actually talking about Rush Limbaugh. And that's the one I want, because that one, he's actually making some statements. But the main thing is this. We have to remember when Republicans come in office, always keep this in mind. When they come in office, some are coming in office to play the game. Some are coming in office to rape you and rape this country of their wealth. Meaning this. Most of us forget about 9/11. Most of us forgot about 9/11. But I want to remind you of a couple of things. When you have to remember when Clinton just came out of office and Bush walked in office. And years later, we had 9/11. But what's so special about 9/11? We need to think about a couple of things. Do anybody remember the name Larry Silverman? Or no, Silverstein. That's his name. Larry Silverstein. Let me explain something about Larry Silverstein. He actually leased the Twin Tower buildings that was in New York. And 2 months before the 9/11, he actually put terrorist insurance on it. I'm going to try to pull this up because he took in a lot of money after that. And yeah, he was awarded $4,550,000,000 because he had insurance on the building. $4,450,000,000. Art of confusion. Now we came through, and then Obama came in, set things pretty good, and now you have it's total idiot in there. But is it the total idiot, or is he doing art of confusion? Because he fought with China. Now nobody don't want anything from China, because China, he says, where the coronavirus came from. However, it was created here. So we have a problem here. With that problem we have here is with this art of confusion, somebody stands to make a lot of money. So the first time we had an epidemic, and now we have another one here. But money's being made, because now after each one that happened in 9/11, after that, we had a stock market crash. Same as here. So what happens here? Right now, they had to clear the shelves. People bought things all off the shelf. They didn't clear these stores out. That pushes money into the economy to give you a false positive and make it look like the economy is still good when you look at it on paper. However, on paper, they know, one, they got to replenish those stores have to replenish them. And now they injecting $2 trillion into the economy, where everybody with $75,000 and less, they get a check, to where they're going to inject that money because they're going to have a need, to where they have to inject that into the economy, give you a false positive that the economy is good. And that should last just long enough past the election, before the stock market crashed. because the stock market is going to crash. It's inevitable. It already shows you that in everything shows you this. But the thing is, we're not looking past the trees. We need to look past the trees. He came out a winner on both sides, because now people don't want nothing from China. But why they don't want nothing from China? Because they think everything was in China. But we had coronavirus here. And even with it, when it's here, why are we sitting there putting it on everybody else? So we got to think about those. False positive, art of confusion, keep you very scared, but people still moving around. Still moving around. They say when you cough, you got to look out for the droplets that's around there. So if somebody coughs and the droplet is on the ground, it don't travel. As they say, it don't travel. It's in droplets. All these things you need to think about. Art of confusion. That's the name of the game. I'm gonna sit there and I want to see, do anybody have a question or a comment? And we'll go deeper into that, and we'll deal with some more of this world trade. And right now, I'm trying to get to, we have no one in the back, have no questions or comments that's here. I'm trying to sit there and see, but the main thing is, I'm trying to sit there and see we have no one there. But the main thing, what we want to understand is this. Are you planning to where if we sit there and we go through all these problems, because if the coronavirus is what it is, one, you shouldn't be buying nothing out of a fast food store. Two, you shouldn't be in a store whatsoever. Three, you shouldn't be in nowhere close to a hospital, because the virus is so contagious to where they say if you get it, you pretty much you're doomed. But people are still, fast foods are still open, but they do takeout only. But these same people where you do takeout, they are not tested or anything for the coronavirus. Interesting, isn't it? So, we open it up for questions, and people, if you have a question, we have a couple of people back here. If you have questions, you're more than welcome. You can raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to bring you up. Other than that, I'm trying to get over to the other side to where I can address any questions on the YouTube side. Trying to sit there and see. And going through the YouTube. Okay, so let me see. So we have no questions here based on YouTube, and we have one here. And
Shalom, Elder.
Hey, shalom, my brother.
Elder, I've always have said and kept in mind that there's a lot of hospitals in this country, and as you said, there are nobody that's dying in these hospitals, and of course you have all of these daycare centers, and our children. These babies they just touch everything. Not one child in this country has died from this virus. So I got a problem with them, with all of these numbers. And as I've spoken once before, they could be pulling these numbers from the Vietnam War. They could be pulling them from the last Iraq War. You've given me all of these numbers, but they have no bodies. It makes more sense to me to do autopsies on these bodies. If this virus is that deadly, it would make more sense to do autopsies just to find out what, in fact, that you're up against. But we're not getting any of that. And just as you said, the art of confusion.
Yeah, it's a complete art of confusion. And that's what I'm saying, because I have a couple of other people telling me about the same thing about the hospitals.
Sure.
And nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's telling nobody anything. But if you, same thing, like I went and did some business today to go run around for a little while. But a lot of people, you know, you don't have that many people on the streets, but it's still business as normal everywhere.
Sure.
Now, if it's so deadly, I can get where people have to stay a certain way. Now I get that. So, but the main thing is, it's so deadly. Why is people not acting the way they're acting? Why are they still doing it a certain way? I even see we have one guy in here called Big O. Why do you believe money will still be will still be worth anything after the stock market crashes? See, that's something else which I kind of stay out of that arena. See, because one thing we got to remember in America, our money is based on nothing. Our money is not our money is not backed by gold at all. They will tell you, they can tell you all kind of lies and all day long. It is not backed by gold.
Wow.
But they'll tell you that. But that's the lie they'll tell you. But we are not, we are based on a note. You could literally go check it. If they dump the American dollar, this would be a third world country. It's that simple.
Wow.
It's that simple.
And you know, Elder, just to make another mention, you know, it appears that every time this country gets in a pickle, we go through this type of thing. And you know, I remember if we do our research, if you remember the Vietnam War, they always have made mention that they will get back at the United States and wouldn't fire one bullet. We have to keep all of these things in mind because I don't trust this government. All of them are just as crooked as the letter S. And it's unfortunate that we have to experience these things, but we have to keep our faculties about ourselves and just use our common sense, because common sense says a lot when there is no sense involved. Common sense and truth always prevail over nonsense. So we have to be careful at what we're dealing with, because one thing's for certain, this world is in the hands of the wicked. And these people, man, they don't care nothing about nothing.
Yeah. See, and that's why, you know, with this, you know, I keep getting like emails, and all of it's based on the same thing. You know, what do you do in this situation? So easier, come on, explain what you know, but the thing is, you know, you be careful, always going to be cautious about what goes on. You're always going to be cautious. However, it just don't make sense what's going on. It's the same thing. You can go to 9/11. If you look at 9/11 and you look at it and you take your time and you look at it, my thing still is a steel metal frame building. I'm telling you, I come from a fourth generation contractor who built high rises. And that building, as high as it was, it can sit there, and most of those heat temperatures can take up to 2,400 heat. 2,400. Now, the plane, I believe the plane flame with the gas, the fuel that it uses, I think it's at 1,700. Meaning what? When he went in there, it could have sat there and burned. And that melt and that structure wouldn't have failed. But this is the crazy thing. How did the building fall straight down?
Wow.
Now, the crazy part is the building next to it, it didn't touch it, but that building fell. How?
Dynamite, they blew it up.
Exactly the point. Because it all fell in and down.
The only time I see buildings go straight down is when they have a blow up.
Yeah, but it went from the top, and I'm talking about none of the structure took out none of the other structure. I'm talking about it just fell perfectly down. And if that building was so well built, it wouldn't have fell in that manner.
Sure.
At all. Unless it was something behind it.
I'll agree.
It was something behind it to make it fall in that manner.
Wow.
But the main thing is, same thing, you go to Larry Silverstein, he got $4 billion $550 million because he leased those buildings for a 99-year lease. And on that lease, he ended up 2 months before that happened, he ended up getting what? Terrorist insurance.
Wow.
Because if you think about it, they had some construction work going on in those buildings right before 9/11. And that's when I believe they set the dynamite off up in it.
Yeah, well, possibly. But we have to look at what are we willing to do? See, because people keep thinking America, 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 we'll do this, we'll take care of that, we'll take care of this. But I'm talking about life become very little when you talk about hundreds and billions of dollars involved. And you got to remember right now, with all the confusion they got going on, they injected $2 trillion into the economy.
Wow. And you know, Elder, I had made mention once before, it's just like a magician. If a magician is going to use a couple of tricks to entertain an audience, and if he's going to, of course, come up with the tricks that he's going to be using, and if he's going to use an assistant, I'm pretty sure he'll have one. But after he gather the things that he needs only one thing to make the trick work, and that's the audience. If you look at how dominant that this propaganda is flooding the TV, I ask people all the time, especially in the rural areas where our people are, because they always make mention in the news, especially in the local news, about the murders in these areas that take place night after night and week after week. And I ask people all the time, when was the last time that you've heard of any murders or any crimes of that nature in your area? Because it's so dominant in the news. In order for this to work, I have to first implement fear. Once I implement fear, then I could continuously push this out into the media. And doing that, then I can have total control acts over what I want to have happen done. It's just like they got 2 or 3 blocks, with people that's in the grocery stores. You got 2 or 3 blocks of people on the outside of the store. Just imagine the amount of people on the inside of the store being checked out. So we have to really use our common sense just to see what's going on around us and to stay prayerful.
Oh yeah, you got to stay prayerful. And then same as we have people, they saying should we invest in gold? The main thing is if you're going to invest in gold, one, you got to make sure you're getting real gold, because putting gold in just buying stocks in gold or just buying gold, if you don't physically have it in hand, you're pretty much wasting your time. So if you're getting gold, you need to make sure you're getting real gold. Because should you invest in gold, that's something you're looking to do to use for exchange for money. Yes, that's always a good thing, because I remember when gold wasn't hardly anything. I mean, you can get gold for a couple of $100 an ounce. And now look at it. It just skyrocketed. Same thing with silver. Silver was they almost give you silver. And now silver has a great substantial amount of money. But the main thing is, you don't want to sit there and say you buying gold and this entity is holding your gold. You don't want to do that, because if you do that, all the entity you got to do is disappear, and then your gold goes right along with it. Your paper is worth nothing. So if you can't get a hold to it, and then you don't know who you actually purchase it from, and they're not a valid company, or they sitting there and it's not as pure as they saying it is, you still gonna have an issue. So that's why I say you got to watch who you buying it from.
Sure.
So and that's what one person saying, should you invest in gold? Always a good thing to do. If you can get a hold to some real gold, and then it has the value there. It's always good to have it, because now it's worth more now than it ever did, than ever. And it'll be more valuable even later, because it's gold going to always continue to go up. You got to remember, they can't make gold. Gold is in the ground. They can't make it. Same thing. They can't make no more land. You know, they putting dirt in water and making their own little islands and doing all kind of stuff like that. But still, the outcome of that, you don't know because it's not tested. So we dealing with a lot of that. But a lot of people have problems where they're being nervous about what they're doing. They're being nervous about what's going on. They're being nervous about, you know, what should they do? You know, same thing. You're gonna take precautions. If something's out there and something you don't know that's going on, yeah, you want to make sure that, you know, you're protected. You want to make sure that everything is covered on your end. However, you still got to remember, you have a man in office, don't know nothing else, know how to do but to lie. Now, if this virus is saying what it's saying, they more worried about having everybody go out for Easter because he want to make sure everything is back open by Easter.
Wow.
I don't get it.
What's up?
I don't get it. Elder Pittman.
Yes, I heard you talking about gold. Also, with the gold, and I remember reading that if bullion, if you have that, they already have a law that they can call that back. Don't care how much you done paid for it, they can make it null and void. So it shouldn't be bullion, but it should be act like Elder said, pure gold. Because I've been doing silver for a long time. I even got silver that's 1 pound.
Oh,
And all of that stuff like that because it was easier to get. But I'm glad I held on to it.
Oh yeah. See, because now you can do more with it when it's like that.
Sure.
But you have a lot of people that try to get stuff and they'll say, well, I want to own this, I want to own that. But a company holding it for you.
Nope.
Come on, all the company gotta do is disappear.
Yep.
And it's a wrap at that point. So now you're dealing with a company. Now you got to deal with a company as well as a person.
I got my silver in hand, locked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know something's wrong because let's say the world as crazy as it is right now, all four corners is all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say they open it up for Easter. That's telling you right up front. All we got to do is think. That's telling you right up front. Everything before was a lie.
Right. Right.
It's automatic.
And you know what, Elder? I was telling some people, let's look at when they was taking picture of China and you saw people walking down the street sick and all that stuff like that. I said, think about where have you been since this stuff started? Have you seen one person stumbling down the street?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. See,
No.
and to tell you more so, even with me, you know, the area I live in, you know, is 98% Asians. The area I live in right now is 98% Asian. And in majority of them, I have a few of them that goes back and forth to China quite a bit. Actually, my next door neighbor, you know, he stays here so many months out of the year. He goes back to China, stays so many years. Now he just came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other neighbor, he's a younger guy, and he goes back and forth all the time. Now, mind you, he's the one, my neighbor, the younger one, he just got back not too long ago. He just got back right before they started shutting down everything. Now, he have a daughter here. She's 6 years old. I want you to clearly understand, she's 6.
Mm.
Every time he go outside to do something, she out there with him.
Mm.
Sits right up under her. And he just came from China.
Right.
So why he wouldn't quarantine himself?
Yeah, I had one of my boss on the job came from Portugal or somewhere because he got family over there. That's where he's from. And he come rolling into the office that Monday. And he wasn't quarantined.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's not there now is because the people that's in fear and the heads up made himself quarantine.
Yeah. This is the issue that we're going through. But it's already just like I said, I was trying to pull it because I want people to see when Kobe died,
Mhm.
literally out of the LA Times, it was on one of the publications. They have right next to it where Rush Limbaugh was trying to push some money in to do the coronavirus. It's sitting right on the side and they're telling you the exact same thing.
Why don't you get my phone tap for it?
And you know what? Another thing, Elder, how in the world you want to call in the National Guards, but you're pushing for people to be distanced? Well, you bring in a bunch of military personnel and they close to each other. Come on. What, they been quarantined? Or you vaccinated them or what? Because I ain't taking no vaccination for nobody.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I said. I won't take no vaccination. We had some people talking about, they're going to make you or you go to see one. That just makes no sense. Where
Right.
they would sit there and tell people, "Oh, you're gonna need to take a vaccination. You go to jail."
Civil War.
Yeah, exactly. That's all they're going to. It'll be war all the way through, because if you say the state you in, and I know they even went through your state, don't you know people in California is going to be ready for them when they get here?
Mm-hmm.
It's automatic. So same thing like I told the people, you can have false documents that go out, but you got to watch where that stuff come from. It's one of that's the same thing. I'm trying to think of that one paper. It was one of them. I can't even think of the newspaper. Where it's almost like the Star Mag, those tabloids. And they'd be telling you about moon people was up on the moon and they had on cowboy.
Oh, yeah. You see them all through the stores and everything.
Yeah, you see them all through. Yeah, you go through all through the store. You see that. Yeah, and you have people who actually believes that stuff.
Yeah.
So
and they would they would tell a lie on you, and you sue them. They don't care because they make more money than what you get in the lawsuit.
Exactly, and they can care less what happens. So it's better when we sit there when something goes down. Be cautious. And just make sure that you cover, you do your due diligence on your side. But the main thing is, I go around, do what I got to do. But the main thing, people going around, I'm talking about, if this is so dangerous, why are people literally still running in fast food stores? I'm talking, it makes no sense. Because they shouldn't be in a fast food store. Because now the people can cough over your food, they can do anything. Sure. So you shouldn't be buying anything out of a store unless those people went through some type of strenuous check and went through some type of quarantine process to make sure now when they go in there to work, it's a certain way that'll happen. And you just don't see it.
Something, Elder, I was thinking about, a lot of times, especially here for 5 o'clock in the evening here, every day during the week, since this propaganda has been pushed out, they will bring Trump on. He'd be making whatever announcements for the day. And he's always referring to this virus as an unseen virus.
Unseen war.
Unseen war. And if it's such unseen, what is it that you're testing? See, it has to match, in order for it to be true, it has to match what you're pushing. I mean, here's a guy that barely can find his way out of bed in the morning, let alone speak in a setting such as this, and just having an idea, having a clue about what it is that he's saying. So again, I got problems with, you saying this is unseen. So if it's unseen, what are you testing? It's a lot of questions that I have to ask because it makes absolutely no sense. And that's why I think we have to be mindful of ourselves. Use our
when something, you have to sit there and you have to keep looking. That's why I say it's the same as with the war with Bush. They push the issue, they push the issue. Why? Because a lot of people made a lot of money. People don't know when we go to war, a lot of money is made here in America.
Both sides. They play both sides.
Yeah. And what happened And what most people don't know, even with the brother who was a Secretary of State. Now, I can even tell you about 2 talk show radio guys, white guys, and they come off racist. This John and Ken they was on 690 AM. People in California, they might know what I'm talking about. Now, John comes off as a racist. He comes off as a racist. But now, when they was talking about going to war, and Bush was saying it, he was 3,000% against it. But he still talked like a racist. Now, what happened when they got I'm trying to remember the brother name, and see, cause I don't watch too much politics on them, but that brother name, the brother of the Secretary of State, but he named it. When he said it was weapons of mass destruction there, you couldn't tell that man nothing else.
Who are you talking about, Colin Powell?
Colin Powell. When Colin Powell said it was weapons of mass destruction there, you couldn't say nothing. He fought him. Oh, he'll call you a dummy. He'll call you all kind of names if you spoke against Colin. Bush, he can care less about, but he even put why he said that. He said Colin Powell was this. He went through this. He went through, and he was naming all the stuff they called him. He said, and if this man said it, you can't tell him. You couldn't tell him nothing different. And he went, and that's the way he went. Now, mind you, they gave Colin Powell the wrong documents. Once they gave him the wrong documents, Colin Powell made the wrong the wrong assess to which we went on and did what we did.
Wow.
Purely what happened.
And you know what else is sad, Elder, is that, and you got to listen to them people, because Colin Powell told you 3 months out before the election even started that Obama was going to win the election with the slip of his mouth. And I'll never forget where I was at. I was moonlighting on Monroe Street in Baltimore. He said this. He said, when Barack Obama is president, he's going to have some major problem within his first 120 days, and that was when them pirates was robbing cruise ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so the main thing is, that's why I tell everybody right now. Everybody worried about protecting this, protecting that, but you need to be more worried about what's going on with the economy. See, because he said some things that you need to really understand what he's saying. Because Obama made sure if people was getting in housing trouble, if you own the house, he made sure you can make provisions to where you can pay it. And then if people was paying rent, he did things to where he can help people to take care of that. He was making sure of that. Now, also, you got to remember, the automotive companies was going broke. Ford didn't need no money, and Ford didn't want no money from them, but he bailed out the other two. Out of all this, it was in the midst of Obama after Bush got out of office. Why? Because the economy sucked. The economy was going, I'm talking about, it was dead. And we would have went in a deep, I'm talking about, this country wouldn't have been worth $1 if it would have been another Republican walked in there. Why? Because they would have found more ways to suck more money out of the economy. But Obama came in there, turned it around. Now you have a fool in there where people still don't understand. This man has 7 businesses. And you have some black people in it, I guarantee you got some in here gonna vote for him. And he's a walking idiot. 7 businesses he had. Every one of them he bankrupt. Every one of them.
Yeah.
On top of that, he everything he has done thus far, he literally was riding on the couple of years that he's been in there. Everything that he reaped was from the works of Obama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything. And then he tries to claim it. And then anything that's bad that happens, he puts on Obama. Anything good goes on, he did it. He's a fool walking. Now we got to watch what's going on because the same confusion then kicked up again.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got this coronavirus going out. Now we got all this other stuff going around. But when a whole lot of confusion start happening, you watch your money.
Yeah.
Because things is getting ready to change up. You know, hopefully no crash happen, but it's inevitable. I'm gonna tell you, I don't see no way out of there because the only thing that they can do, that $2 trillion, a lot of it going in a lot of people's pockets. That's just like, we got to look at $2 trillion and we have 25 million Americans, 325 million. Look at it this way. Let's say poor people. Let's say 300 million poor people. Just as an average, 300 million people. Let's say now you gave those 300 million people, you gave each one of them $1 million. Just say you gave them, now what you in it for? You're in it for $300 million.
Yeah.
All right. Now you've given them another $1 million. These are poor people. Give them another $1 million. What you in it for? 600 million. Use the 400 million to help do research and do everything, or give them another 100 million. Where this $1.9 trillion going?
Mm.
You follow what I'm saying? We have most people working and not making $1 million, but I'm saying you give those poor people $1 million out of a $2 trillion spending, and they're not going to see it. They're giving them, I think, $1,400 or $1,700 that they automatically got to inject back into the economy to make the false positive happen, to make it seem like the economy is good, and it's not. That's the reason they do that. And everything's off the shelves. The reason everything's off the shelves is because once it's off the shelf, they got to replenish those shelves out of every store.
It's amazing you said that, Elder, because guess what my job did?
Mm-hmm.
They gave everybody a $1,000 bonus out of nowhere.
And they're gonna get that money back.
Yep. Yeah.
They're getting it back. And see, and it's a play game there, because they can give you $1,000. What it costs them to give you that $1,000, they can actually add they can add a little bit of fat onto it, and they'll get back more than what they actually gave you.
Yeah, McKesson Medical. That's where I work at. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the same thing they do with the politicians that be in there, because same thing when they write those bills, they'll write those bills, but what they do, they put what they call a lot of fat. They put a whole lot of pork fat around it. So if they want this, they put a whole lot of other stuff with it and want you to get this other stuff with it, which is stupid. So if you're sitting in there, if you're asking for a card, it should just be the card being asked for, not all this other little stuff to make sure everybody agree. Everybody should agree based on what is being right, not based on, I know they're gonna say no, but let me give them this and give them this, and then they'll say yes. No, they should do it based on being upfront and honest all the time. And if they're not going to do it, what's the purpose of them being in there? Our problem is we're too fast to do anything, especially some of the most ignorant people. And I always hate to say it, but some of the most ignorant people is us. Why? We control $1 trillion economy. We control that. $1 trillion we control every year. What's worse, just say like with the women, we control $900 million hair economy as far as hair care products. We control that, not with what the products are, our spending power. But we're so ignorant to the point, I got to get my hair, I don't care what anybody. We're so stupid on that fact. We got to get our hair done, so we go in there anyway. I'm talking stupid as day. So it's the same thing like I tell people. They know where they're going to get the money from. And the easiest thing to do, give it to those Negroes. Those Negroes are going to pump it right back into the economy anyway. Because that's what we're going to do. It's automatic. It's automatic. So what's different this way that's going spiritual? So when you want to look at it spiritually is this. I'm going to ask anybody a question, and if anybody can answer it. You tell me, when a man go dig for gold, that when he gets the gold out of that hole, do he put the dirt back?
No.
Nope.
Does anybody know that? He don't put the dirt back, do he?
No.
When a
No.
man go dig for diamonds, do they put the diamond dirt back?
No.
Nope.
No. So guess what? Now, you take that same analogy and you go put it into our community. That same analogy, put it in our community. You got everybody, you got Asians, you got everybody come in our community. They dig out all the gold. They digging it out.
Back.
Tell me what they putting back.
Absolutely nothing.
And the
Nothing.
first thing we want to do, oh, I don't know why a community look like this. Oh, I know why it look like this. You're giving the money to these fools. Because you got
They
to
won't let you come in their community.
Oh man, just like I told people when I used to stay in Altaloma. I don't know. I might have told you about that, Elder Pittman. It was in this dominated by whites. It was in this community, and Superior tried to come there. Market tried to come there. I kid you not. I went by there every day. I seen Superior. I didn't know that. I said, Superior, I ain't never heard of it. And this is some years back. Every time I go by there, you see about 6 to 8 cars in there, just the people working there. It was like that every day for 6 months. You didn't see nobody go in that store. Nobody. They had to close that store. That's even like most people who don't know where Altaloma, but Altaloma, Rancho Cucamonga, and Etiwanda is all the same city. But the same thing is, to show you how Rancho Cucamonga is, most people don't even know. You will not find a Walmart, not in Rancho. That's why Rancho set the standard they did. That's why when I was there, the housing and everything skyrocketed. Another reason why they got rid of Section 8. Section 8 can't stay in Rancho. But guess what? We sit there and we want to be dependent. We sit there and we just let them just dig us out. And they put nothing back. And the first thing we want to do is say, we don't get this, we don't get that.
Yeah.
First thing we do. And now we sitting there, we worried about coronavirus and everything else. But the main thing is, if we would have been taking care of ourselves, we would have already had the standards already with us.
Yeah.
But we can't even buy from our own people.
And you know that's true, Elder, because when I started my security company in Baltimore, and was two Israelites brothers, they already had a barbecue business going, but they want all the money we was pulling into security. They want to spend it, and I had to pull away from them.
Yeah, it's a bad thing, but we have to continue. You know, the easiest way to fool people is to put them in fear.
Yeah.
And to make sure when they send you that money, the first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna have some of them stores stocked to where you can go right back and spend that same money in those stores. It's all right there in front of you.
Yeah. And you know, Elder, it's just like a casino. The house is always going to get theirs. That the house always wins. You know, yeah. It's just, if you take the concept that in most of these casinos, it could be 12 o'clock midnight. And when you
Mhm.
enter into the entrance, they got this ceiling painted as if it was daylight. And you'll also never find a clock in a casino because they don't
Yep.
want you to know what time it is. So all
Yep.
of the variables that they have, you know, to keep you to subtract as much money from your pocket as they can. And it's just like what's happening now. In order for me to push an agenda, I have to first evoke fear. Once I can evoke fear, I can get the masses to do what I want. Those
Yep.
that's going to be fearful of what I'm pushing. So we have to be we have to understand what's going on, and I pray that a lot of our brothers and sisters are studying more, given this time that they're at home, because you know we take for granted a lot of things, and we
Mhm.
really the things that we need to be doing. Those are the things that we're not, and we need to focus more on the Word of God and keep our guard up with what's going on.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to. One of the biggest issues is we sit there, we get caught up, we get these numbskull fools out there having people to fight over talking about going after reparations.
Sure.
And the biggest thing is, okay, why don't you go after the person who put you in slavery? Because I tell you who it is. I tell you exactly who it is did it, and they still living they still living today. So if they want to go after them, I tell you who it is, and I tell you where he live. Go after him. And all you got to do is go to Deuteronomy 28:68. He tells you out his own mouth, he's going to send you into slavery.
That's right.
You go
That's
tell
right.
him to give you your money. And I sure like to see how you come out. But we so fast to do things, and our biggest problem is that we continually, you know, I'm talking about this man, the man walks a lie. Even when he walks, he's just walking a lie. He just, I'm talking about, I never seen nobody where they can put him in there. See, this is what I say, even with the presidency, where they going with it now, they shouldn't complain about no president then had multiple sexual encounters with whoever. They shouldn't bother nobody on that because this fool did it. He sat there, discriminated against all kind of people. They shouldn't say anything. This fool did it. To sit there to tell the cuss and you know how much he disliked people who got caught in the war. He said he don't like nobody got caught in the war.
Wow.
This fool said it. Wouldn't know. I'm talking about John McCain family talk. John McCain even said it when he leave. He didn't even want the man at his funeral.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm talking about it's unreal. I'm talking about you see those presidents talking amongst each other. You see Jimmy Carter, who I think he done gone crazy because he think Donald Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. So
Wow.
he don't want to see now. But the main
Come
thing
on, Elder,
is,
not Jimmy Carter, the Christian.
yeah, Jimmy Carter. So you got him, you got Obama, you got Bush, all of them talking amongst each other. This fool walk in there, everybody stop talking. Everybody stopped talking. I'm trying to remember I forgot whose funeral that was, but there's that, I think it was one of the last one they went, soon as he came in, everybody stopped talking.
Wow.
That was Senator McCain's funeral.
No, he wasn't at McCain's.
Yeah, he couldn't go to McCain's.
Yeah, he can go to McCain's.
The one that we say looked like the other one, the black guy.
Oh yeah, I think that's the funeral he was at. I think that's the black guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know what you're talking about. All the presidents were sitting together, and when he came in, they stopped talking.
All of them stopped talking. Everybody stopped talking. Why? I'm telling you. And I had some people used to tell me he a baby Christian. Well, you gotta remember he's a baby Christian. Say, boy, these guys are just as stupid as a box of rocks. Yeah. So let me take this one question. This is Marquez Sutton.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it was that Bush the father funeral where they all was talking and then they stopped when he walked in.
Mm,
It was the Bush the father funeral because at
okay.
McCain he wasn't there because he was not invited and he couldn't
Yeah.
attend.
Yeah, he wasn't invited there.
Hmm. And
So
that was so sad. I mean, he made many times he made reference to himself as being God. So I don't understand how people would say he's a baby Christian.
well, what we gotta remember is
What a Christian is.
what people really don't understand. One, he's not a billionaire,
Right.
but he wants to be one.
He's not. He's not.
Yeah.
He,
Main
mm-mm.
thing is he might float out of that office. He might be one.
Hmm.
Oh yes.
From stealing all the
That
money.
is without a doubt. He probably will be one. And with all this that's going on, I'm quite sure his hand is in the pot.
Oh yeah, his hands in the pot
I
because
sure do.
confusion. See, confusion. The players have to be there, and they need the head to play.
Exactly. And with him, anytime he's involved, nobody's looking at Russia, but they need to pay attention and keep focus
Well,
of what's really
well, he
going.
was laundering money for Russia through Taj Mahal.
Oh, for the longest time, my
Yeah.
question was always, how did he pass a background check?
Well, what you got to remember is this: he bought a house in Florida for $6 million. He sold it for 94.
Hmm.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
guess who bought it? Guess who?
He
But guess
didn't
who bought
start doing this.
For
He
Russia.
didn't start doing this. But this
it?
thing with the
Russians bought it.
coronavirus, COVID-19, Russia, China, and him, if you look back, that triangle is, I just, you haven't heard anything in reference to Russia, but I'm quite sure because you remember them and China became very close. So it's something else going on. It's going to come out
Oh, yeah.
eventually, but it's a lot more going on than meets the eyes.
Yeah, but the main thing is, as more people see, that's why I say, when people in the right, and I like what brother Lynn said. You know, you need to be in the book. See, don't be worried about
Mhm.
all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because people start panicking and everybody saying, no, ain't no reason to panic.
Hey, that's what I keep telling my children.
Yeah, when you got a lot of smoke going on,
Mm-hmm.
stand still and let
And,
that smoke clear.
That's
mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't do it, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm talking about you got fools in all, and it trips me out where people, even who want to vote for people, they'll go put a fool in there. They say, well, the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, I
That
don't
was
get
a
it.
thing I heard.
Yeah, I
And
don't get it.
somebody was sharing.
Yeah. And what I do, I write on there and I vote for Daffy. I write Daffy Duck and put, that's what I'm voting. You know, put my pet rock. That's what I'm voting for. Letting them know I don't want none of them.
Mm.
So that's the main thing. And brother Daryl,
Yeah, Elder, looking at this stuff, I mean, if we look at history, when we were in the time of the Maccabees or throughout history, Babylon, the main thing is we don't have time to waste time getting involved with the wicked's agenda. I mean, with their system, it's going to fall anyway. The prophecy already says it's got to fall. So we shouldn't even wrap our minds in it like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, if it falls, it falls. I mean, it has to fall. And so we shouldn't buy into the fear if we definitely uh, focus our mind on what the prophecy and what the scriptures are telling us as a
mhm,
people. And that's the disconnect because our people are so connected to say, for instance, in this land, in this country, that it's their home, not realizing you're a prisoner of war, so to speak. It's not your home. It's never been your home. And so we shouldn't
yeah,
Mhm.
even have an affinity. I'm not saying hate the place. We just should realize that we're this ain't where we belong. So you just
yeah,
got to ride it out. We have to
yeah,
ride it out.
Yeah.
There's another thing. I got friends on the ground in Italy and from West Africa, brothers I talk to all the time. And it's funny, what's not being publicized over here. And like I mentioned earlier, there is something with this 5G stuff. There's a whole lot of things working with this. There's bio stuff. There's a lot of things working in this agenda. But he told me something interesting earlier when, you know, Italy has the oldest population in Europe. So they live the longest. They got the most elderly people. So a lot of the older people who have certain health conditions are the ones that are getting sick, and there's a lot of people dying. But at the same time, the Italian government and the parliament was confused because none of the immigrants or the Africans was getting, who they would call Africani, was getting sick. They weren't getting sick. And so they started to, you know, filibuster about this in their government. Like, how come the blacks are not getting sick? And now it's not on the news, but now even in Italy, the local people have begun to attack, you know, blacks, and there's been a few murders already.
Dang.
Because they're not getting sick.
Yeah.
And then if we watch this whole thing, like another thing is the big prize on the map, as it always has been for thousands of years, is Africa. So when we hear BG, Mr. Gates, talking about the next thing is Africa, he's actually putting out this is where they're going to move to, because they got to get back in there, you know. So they, you know, all this stuff is connected, and we have to look at the diabolical side of it. Like the brother said, like the scripture says in Job 9:24, the earth is into the hand of the wicked. Right. And that's what we just have to come to grasp with, that, man, this stuff's got to play out. And we have to, you know, do what we have to do in the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, because we even had this brother Sheldon. You saying what do you think they're trying to accomplish? All I gotta do is get to it. $2 trillion they done injected into the economy. $2 trillion.
And they tell you the money ain't worth nothing. They just printed that up.
Yeah, and what people fail to realize, Apple just became a $1 trillion company. And think of everybody all over the world, all these iPhones, all these computers, all over the world. They just became a $1 trillion company. Now, and then we got these boys injected $2 trillion. Somebody's getting ready to get paid.
But they already getting it.
Yeah. You know, you even look at when Bush now, when they did that 9/11 and they had to go over there and fix all that stuff, Halliburton got the contract. But who is he? Who was Halliburton tied to?
Cheney.
Tied to Cheney.
The VP. Yeah, the VP.
And that was a no bid. Most people don't even know that was a no bid contract. Meaning what? Can't no contractor bid on it. It was automatically given to Halliburton. You can't even bid on it.
That was billions of dollars went into Halliburton, you know.
Yeah.
$1 billion contracts.
Yeah. And yeah, we have Sister Smith. Sister Smith.
Oh, okay. There you are. Okay. Hey, Elder.
Hey, how you doing?
Elder, how come I'm not, I am just not worried about none of this. It doesn't even bother me.
Nothing to be worried about. My thing is just be watchful.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to be crazy or anything, but my thing is that there's a lot going on. If you look around the world, you have an invasion of locusts in about 4 different countries. You have right now in Oklahoma, there's a hailstorm dropping golf ball hail in Oklahoma. I mean, it's just so much going on. It's, to me, I'm just sitting back, relaxing, watching it all play out, like the brother said.
Yeah, and that's all you can do, just watch it play out. My thing is always just be watchful what's going on.
Yes, that's the key.
And you're not looking for, because Trump can't help but lie.
Oh yeah, he's at 16,000.
Yeah, Yeah, and as he lie, you have to be able to decipher what he's lying about. Because the main thing is what he's still trying to do is
What's the
based
noise?
with this virus going out, based on with this virus going out, we still want to make sure that everything is good. So Easter time, they want to make sure everything is good.
My email is so flooded because I'm getting offers to come back to work. They must be crazy.
Mm.
Because you have to be crazy to go back into a hospital right now, I think. But that's just my opinion, Elder. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so my thing is, with everybody, the thing is, you be watchful out there. The same thing like they recommend. It's things we already should be doing. You go outside, you're doing something, you come in, you wash your hands. That should be normal practice. You come from somewhere, wash your hands. That's normal practice that you do. You can go to a doctor. A couple of years ago, even now, a doctor will see you. He'll do everything. When he's finished, guess what he does? He washes his hands. So you just doing a precautionary measure on what they always did. But now you wash your hands and you just take that precautionary measure, but then you just watch stuff around you because stuff around you can be coming out and they showing you what is actually happening. Because if it was what they're saying it is, it'd be a totally different ball game. But they saying one thing for you to see it, but now they sitting there telling you something you cannot see, but it's happening, but you can't see it. You need to think about that. And you got a lot of people out there nervous. They nervous behind that, and they nervous behind it. Why? One, they don't believe God. Yeah, 1 second.
Shalom, Elder. Yeah, I just, I'm not really worried about it myself. I know my daughter and them worry about me because, oh, you're at that susceptible age. Well, you know what? I'm not worried about it. For one, like you say, use your universal precautions. That's something that we all should have been doing anyway. If you go into the supermarket, wipe the card off. A lot of stores don't have them. So if you carry your hand sanitizer, get your paper towels with you, wipe the card off yourself. Now they have them out because of this COVID-19. But before, a lot of stores, Safeway and them, half the time that stuff be empty, them little sanitizer wipes, but wipe it off yourself. They have crazy people out here. And a lot of people don't like us because we are peculiar people. So yes, when you come back from the store, depending on where you live at, wipe your doorknob off before you go into your house or your apartment, especially an apartment complex like where I live. I don't trust these people around here because they got some crazies, and I call it a hood, even though they claim they done built it up. It's still the hood to me, but you just use your precautionary measures. People are waiting on this check. Why are you trusting a check? Trust the Most High, and just do what you should have been doing anyway. You go to the bathroom, wash your hands. You come out the bathroom, wash your hands. You come from outside before you touch anything in your own house, you're supposed to wash your hands.
Yeah.
So it's common sense.
Yeah, really, that's all it is. And that's just like saying with the trust. And same thing. Now, this was when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. Our mother and them would take us trick-or-treating. And I never forget this. I'm 57 years old, and I never forget this. And they used to always have to check our candy when we get home. They'd go in places. But we went to these places, and back then you'll see a mixture of people, families. You'll see blacks and whites neighborhoods and whites and we'd be, mixed in the neighborhood before they went all black and everything. And what happened, we get in and they had this one look like a licorice. It was in a container. And somebody, I don't know, could have been a white guy, could have been a Hebrew. I don't know. But it was licorice, and it looked like black licorice. But it was actually like a poison that goes on some type of machine, but it's poison, you can't ingest it. And whoever it was, they was giving them out. And they was giving them out doing trick or treat. Then the second one, they used to sit there, and you guys might have knew about it. They used to sit there and used to have people used to take the time to take a razor blade, a normal man's razor blade, and put it in apples. So a kid can chomp down on it and literally you will cut everything in your mouth.
Yeah, they were doing that when I was a child in New York.
Yeah. They were doing it in New York. They were doing it in Cali too.
Baltimore too.
Yeah. So the thing is, you have to understand the mind of people. This is the mind of people. And when they're doing that, it's the sickest thing in the world to do. Where people would do certain thing like that. And then everybody wake up and you see you shouldn't have been doing it no way. But the main thing is, this is what they do. Not only see, and then people will sit there and try to put it on, well, what about it's just those people? No. Yeah, Israel does that too, because they think it's funny. And I've seen it, I've seen blacks and whites I'm talking about act complete fools as what's going on even right now. And that's something we have to watch, but we don't do anything about it. That's just like if you're driving down the street and if you can, like you might see squirrels, one of the dumbest animals you can see on the face of this earth. Seem like squirrels that sit on the side of the sidewalk and wait till you get close and then they dart across the street. They just do it. I'm talking about, I used to see them and I see them and I think like, okay, he ain't going nowhere. And quick as you get close, the closer you get to him, and it's like, okay, now I'm gonna go. And if I keep going at my same speed, I'll run him over. But the main thing is, if I know I can stop and I see him, I slow down to where I'm gonna let this dumb animal get to the other side. But you have people, it's so harsh about anything. They can't wait when a squirrel runs across, they make sure, and sometimes they'll swerve their car to make sure they kill them. They see the same thing there, they see the same thing for people. The same thing for people, the same way they see you as the bigger picture. What's wrong with a few of these people dying if we can get a hold to $2 trillion? What's wrong with a few people dying? What's wrong with people dying of something else and we can just put it on coronavirus? That's all we got to do. Yeah.
What does the Microsoft man, Bill Gates, now why he's so involved in this now?
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be the one that owns the patent.
Yeah, and he already talking about the next virus.
I mean, he's involved because he's a eugenist, man. He's a eugenist. So he believes in
population. He believes in population
eugenics.
Yep.
He has that Margaret Sanger. He's in that arena. And that's why I said they're gonna release something in Africa again, just like they did Ebola. If he keeps talking about Africa, they about to shoot something over there.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm pulling something else out.
And you think about it, brother. That's like listening to most people in this country are very unintelligent because they won't listen to an expert. They'll just listen to somebody who has a reputation, who has money. What does this guy's reputation in computers give him the ability to say whatever? He doesn't know anything about genetics, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But he's in that system. So, but people will take his word like it's gospel, or like President Trump, he'll say something and these people gravitate to it. You got these foolish Christians. And so he's a baby Christian. They all fools. You got these foolish Christians like what's her face, and she always talking about he's a man of God. Paula White and all these idiots.
Yeah.
But right now.
Yeah, but you have people. Yeah, people support them.
Yeah, because right now they pushing like you can't come to the church, send your money. They putting out.
Yeah, and people gonna send their money.
They want that money, boy.
Yeah, my only thing is, I'm gonna give you back to Mike, but my only thing is, how many people ever heard of the Georgia Guidestones? How many people ever heard of that? Cause I'm gonna show you something when y'all just go.
I have.
Okay. Anybody on YouTube, have you guys ever heard of Georgia Guidestones? Anybody? Yeah, we got two people in the back besides the ones.
I didn't hear exactly what you said. Pronounce that again.
Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah. I heard
I'll
of
be
them.
ready to show it to you.
Yeah. They got the whole agenda written on them. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some people saying, yeah, a lot of people don't. So I'm gonna show it to them. Some people saying yeah, but we got some saying no. I'm gonna show it to you.
Yep,
With
where they
Georgia.
want the population at.
Yeah. Now, what's gonna shock some people, this is in Georgia. And I'm getting ready to show it to you. It's in Georgia right now. These stones right here, well, you can see the stones over here, but this is in English, and this is telling you what they think is the perfect order of the world. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. It's set up just like this. And you can go in Georgia and see them. This is them right there. It's called Georgia Guidestones.
So Elder, who put it there?
Yeah, they won't tell you. They won't release it.
That's right. Yep. It just popped up. That's what they say.
Yeah. And you can see it's in every language to where you can see them. And all of them saying the same thing. All of them saying this right there. So the main thing is why I also push not to, why me myself, if they were sitting there telling people to get a vaccination, I won't do it because I don't know what's in there. They did by people like that before, talking about that we had bad blood. I'm not gonna be, they told them that some took it, some didn't. So
When they used them for the syphilis, when they infected them with syphilis.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they were doing. So I'm not gonna sit there and let them affect me with anything because they can easily make two different types of vaccinations and make sure vaccination goes out to one people, one vaccination goes out to another. I don't have the time for it. Yeah, Brother Quentin.
Oh, no question.
Okay. Yeah, Brother Lynn. Just trying to make sure. Okay, I guess none there. And we have Sister Pittman. I'm not sure. Sister Pittman?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was sharing with my husband that a few days ago, this week, they had a TED Talk on with Bill Gates and this anchor person. His last name is Anderson, from the UK. And so it was like a live TED Talk. And they were asking him all these questions about the coronavirus. And one of the things that actually stuck out in my head and really made me start really praying more for Israel, because one thing he said was that during the Ebola crisis that they had, the people in Africa were able to get a hold of it, and they acted swiftly, and they were able to quarantine, and they were able to do all these other things, and he lists these other things that they did, so that the disease didn't become that significant. and so he said they had a great model there, but the way that he put it was almost like they were kind of disappointed that the African people there were actually smart enough to come up with their own device for remediating, that whole situation. Then the other thing that he mentioned was when he was asked about people who are recovering, because you have a lot of people that have not received the vaccine and they're still recovering. They're recovering from this coronavirus at a phenomenal rate, but the deaths toll is low, especially here in America. So he came up with, now this man, not to my knowledge, has any type of scientific doctorate degree or anything, but out of his mouth he said, well, there's a difference in the blood between those who have recovered from the coronavirus and those who are vaccinated. And and in my mind, I'm saying, okay, well, if there's any difference, you could see where the people, because a virus by nature is all about your immune system. So if your immune system is strong enough to overcome this, yeah, you might see traces of it in the blood, possibly, but the thing of it is that the person's immune system was able to use its own antibodies to fight off this virus. So if you give somebody a vaccine, then of course you actually are giving them, the virus. And I mean, he just actually just came out and said it. And then the third thing that really got me to listening to what he was talking about was the fact, it was like when he was trying to say that they were, using this hypothetical model and all of this and that and the other, and they were trying to get America to buy in when they had when they said it was this outbreak of corona in Wuhan, China, and America wasn't buying in. And basically, if you listen to him, it's like America actually thwarted his plan. And so now he's saying that there's a possibility of a stronger virus coming around. And I mean, this TED Talk was just a few days ago. Anybody can Google it.
So now they want to run a stronger one. And see, and I'm going to show some people.
Hey, Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, a stronger one just hit China. I saw it today.
A which one?
A stronger one. A gentleman, a man died in China from a different one that's stronger than Corona.
That has to do with rodent feces.
But it's all biological warfare. All this stuff is patented. They got it in labs. They got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this stuff. I mean, most people don't want to think that way because they've never been around the government or military. But
yeah,
these
let me
agendas,
see
I mean, it happens.
I got a King one. I need your name, bro.
Darren, brother Darren.
Okay, yeah, you real low. You real low.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, yeah. Darren.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Those viruses, as we know, those viruses been out for a while. And what they were doing was every time a virus come out, they dissect those viruses and they weaponize them. That's why they always have a different strain of flu every year, because they weaponize those viruses. So they know which strain it is. So they have actual shots to give you. They know which ones to give you. Just like in the military. When they gave us those pills, they want us to take pills twice a day. And they actually had the agent in it, which was mustard agent, mustard gas. And they said, well, you're supposed to take 2 a day. So we asked the question, what if we miss a dosage? What do we do? Don't double it up because it might kill you. So we stopped taking them, but a lot of people was forced to take them, and they was forced to take those shots also.
Wait a minute. you take a pill a day, but if you miss a day and you try to double up,
because of the chemical agents that's in it.
boy, America ain't no joke.
See what they do, they experiment on the prison population and the military also.
They make it mandatory or you get Article 15.
And they tell you that you sign all your rights over to Uncle Sam when you're in the military. So it's up to them to do what they want to do to you. But what we was telling them is that, remember Vietnam, you know, y'all said y'all did things to the people in Vietnam, but y'all say y'all didn't do it. But it came back to say y'all did do it. So we asked questions, are y'all gonna put it in our service medical records? They say no. So we didn't take it. A lot of us didn't. A lot was forced to.
Dang. Yeah, now you was in the Vietnam War?
No, I was in the Iraqi
Okay.
Desert Storm.
Okay, yeah, I know a lot of you brothers had some hard times when y'all came back. You know, based on a lot of stuff that was going on, a lot of stuff y'all seen, and seeing a lot of
Them
people.
anthrax shots.
Yeah, you know, we got brothers right now still messed up from stuff over there today.
And then Vietnam was the Agent Orange. That's what
Yeah.
they would do. That's what they were giving to the military GIs over there, the Agent Orange. That they're the ones that infected our troops, you know. And the military covers up so much. When you sign on the dotted line, you are no longer your own person. You have become property of the United States Air Force, the United States Marines, United States Army, and United States Navy. You are government issue, and they let you know that. If we want you to have a family, we'll issue you one. Whatever we
Yeah,
want you to have,
that's what they tell you.
Yes, yes, sir, for sure.
They tell you
That's
that.
right.
They tell you that in boot camp.
That's
When they
right.
Yep,
issuing
because
you all
I'm
your
a
gear.
military. Yep, I'm a military brat, so I know.
We your mama, we your father, we your aunt and your uncle.
Wife, chill, we everything.
Man.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was a prisoner of war in the Vietnam War. He made it out of it. He had a lot of mental problems. But
Yeah.
But that coronavirus is just like any other virus. They weaponized it. They dissect it, and every time they dissect it, they come up with a better strain. Because it's all about, like the gentleman said earlier, it's all about biological warfare. It's all about population control. War is part of it also, population control.
Yeah.
Actually, brother, not to interrupt, but actually, brother, that's what Bill Gates actually said on this TED Talk. He actually said people are looking for a physical land war that's coming, you know, with nuclear weapons and everything. He said, but the war that's coming is a germ warfare. And he said, and the weapons are biological weapons.
Yes.
And he said it flat out. He said it in the TED Talk he did in 2015 when he was so-called, you know, with this foundation of his talking about preparing for it. He mentioned it in the briefing talks and videos from the event 201 that they had just back here in October of 2019. And then a few days ago, he mentioned it again. So that's the whole thing. Like you said, they are they take these viruses that are in strands that are just basic, because everybody knows that, especially women that clean, you know, on the bleach and on your Lysol can, it'll tell you, you know, the germs and bacteria that it will kill. And one of them is the coronavirus.
Yeah, we have Jesse. Jesse just posted with the FB on Facebook is a video regarding a patent about the coronavirus, one. But two, I want to ask King one, I want to ask him about, now did he know it was probably about 6 years ago that the service, whoever was involved with it, there was actually experimenting in the middle of the ocean, and they was actually trying to play with tsunamis. They was actually dropping whatever bombs that they was doing in there to where they was trying to create tsunamis to where they can use it as warfare. And something happened to where they stopped doing it. But they were actually doing, I don't know if you know about that. But since you were talking about service, that's why I brought that up to you.
They create earthquakes
Elder,
too.
Yeah.
since you're out in California, and anybody who was in Texas and anywhere in between. A few years ago, the military had a mass operation going on in the Southwest. If anybody heard of it, it didn't hit the main news because they normally don't put those things in the main news. But the local news was very aware of it. So they was interviewing some people and trying to figure out what they were doing, and came out to be simple operations that they were doing. But anytime they do a big operation like that, it's something coming up, because they had operation from Southern California all the way to Texas. And what they were doing was they was in the towns, like quarantining towns and stuff like that. And they had certain people that they know that would be more combative than others. So they was preparing themselves for that. And when we did our large exercise on the East Coast, all the Marines on the whole East Coast had a large exercise to do. And shortly after that, we went to war.
Dang. Dang. Yeah.
That's why the Army have Reforger every year over in Germany. I was working at range operation, so I was up in there and knew what was going on. I even knew about when they went after Noriega, when they was going to go, because I was involved with the captain, and I was their administrator.
Yeah. See,
they do their plans in the open, but the news media doesn't televise it. And the local media, they get wind of it, but they don't do too much run of it either, because they're controlling all of that.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you
another
guys,
thing.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, let me
ahead.
just, I don't know if you guys see Jesse, he's in the back, he's posting links, but I think he's showing where he got patents at. And where he's got them in there. I don't know if you guys can see them, so that's the only reason I'm not posting them out. But I thought if you guys can see, can you see those back there, Elder? The links that Jesse posted?
No, I don't see nothing.
Oh, you don't see nothing? Okay, I'm at the. Let me see. Tell me, can you see it now? Can you see it?
No, nuh-uh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just post the link out there. Yeah. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Elder.
Oh, don't worry, man. I done forgot now.
Oh, dang. This is yeah, they got the patent numbers.
Yeah, for that virus.
Yeah, they got the. You want to tell you that?
Yeah, they patent that virus, and like I said, they patent every strain. They dissect the viruses when they come out,
I'll tell you
and
what,
they weaponize it.
You 100. I'm gonna show people. Man, yeah, I'm gonna show you.
And that's why every year, when they try to say, well, you got more people dying of the flu than dying of this virus here. Well, that's not actually true, because they weaponize the virus to make it stronger and stronger, the flu virus to make it stronger and stronger. So we never heard of this thing happening many years ago, because the coronavirus been out for many years, especially here in America. Been out there since they've known it, ever since the 20s and 30s. Was it killing people? No. But when they started going into chemical and biological warfare, they know germ warfare was the thing that people would not look at as another nation doing something to somebody. But if you look at a regular agent as a chemical, yeah, another nation did that, because we know people get sick by germs every year. So if they keep it on germ warfare, then you won't confuse a nation, doing germ warfare. But this was going on in the East for thousands of years also, when the Asians was doing germ warfare against each other.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to show you something. Brother Daryl just sent to me. I'm going to show you something right now. Actually, won't tell you what. This brother, leave it to him. Yeah, I'm gonna be showing both of them, but I'm gonna show you one where I got to make sure I can show you the whole thing. Is which let me pull this up, and I want you guys to be able to see it. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Patents.
H1N1. Yep. The Zika,
What you
that's
talking
the
about? What you talking about is right there.
yep.
You kind of got cut off the coronavirus. It's kind of cut off, but
And all those viruses right there is made in the lab. See, years ago we used to call them mad scientists or the big head scientists.
mm-hmm.
You know, we used to call the government scientists that
Yeah.
because this is what they do.
Why are they patented? So if they patent something, evidently somebody created for you to patent.
Yeah, and there's a cure for it because the cure is where the money at.
Yeah. So I'm
Hey,
pretty sure.
Elder,
Yeah.
there's a video of a I think it's a guy on Instagram I sent you, talking about the patent and also the vaccine, the patent vaccine that they did a couple years ago. I'm guessing for this virus.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second. I want to show you this one because I'm gonna tell you, Brother Daryl ain't, man, he's showing me some stuff but I want to show it to you. This is the video. I mean, this is the one I was talking about with Kobe. We can see right here, this is Kobe. And this is January 27th. You see right there, USA Today's paper. Okay. Look right over here to the left. You see what it says over there?
Mm-hmm.
Rush is on to develop vaccine for coronavirus. This is, and then it goes down. I can't really see what all, if I could read all of it, I would actually read it. But literally what's going on right now.
There's also an article that Chinese was trying to patent an American drug for the coronavirus.
Yeah, because it got something in here where I see where Chinese scientists rapidly, I can't quite see what this is actually saying right there, but the virus and something, they got the agency has the funding and technology, said Anthony's, I only can make out certain parts. But this lets you know this was going on back then. This was already happening, even though it goes back years back.
Oh yeah, what it was is they had put that in there with Kobe because they knew people were focusing on Kobe and wouldn't pay attention to that right there on the side. Because I'm mighty sure there's a lot of people that got that newspaper and was more focused on Kobe and his daughter's death than really looking and focusing on the newspaper. Because I have that too on my Facebook page. I actually posted it.
Yeah, because I'm getting I got Jesse. Bill Gates talking about population reduction. So this is why I say just be mindful about what's going on. You have to be mindful, because if not, this is not a good one. Confirmed cases, 5G rollout map. Yeah, I knew about this part. Yeah, Brother Dura, he sent that part about the 5G rollout map, and then confirmed coronavirus cases. So, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and same thing is Jesse sending stuff about the population control. Actually, the TED Talks with Bill Gates talking about population control using vaccines.
They come out and tell you.
Yeah. And seeing, I want to sit there and see if I can get this other one out. Let me see if I can get this up there real quick.
Elder, I just would like to say I did not know until this week that when I was doing some research, especially after I heard Bill Gates do his little TED Talk thing, that they actually are required by some kind of G20 summit or something another to patent these viruses. And I really didn't. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, you creating something that's going to kill people, and you have to patent it.
Yeah. See, but you got to look back and go some years back, because you have to look at also where even the one that died, you had Ronald Reagan, you had a couple other ones where they was out there creating and mixing animals with other things. And they told them, and they did that openly. They told them to stop, because once they created it, they patented it. And they were doing a lot of that. So the main thing what people have to remember is this: is they can play around and they'll mess around and they can mix the same thing is seeds of humans in the closest thing to a human. And the next closest thing to that is going to be what? Orangutans, chimpanzees, and things of that nature. So no telling what they was playing with.
Oh, Elder, here's a true story. Since you brought that up, that mixing. I knew a young lady went on, she was in security, and it was John Hopkins, because they have laboratories underground on the Baltimore Street in Baltimore. And she went to do her rounds, and she checked one door that was left open, and she saw a pig. They had attached a human head to it. This girl lost her mind. Lost her mind. She just went crazy when she saw that. And all she was doing was security rounds, but somebody left that door open that wasn't supposed to be open.
Yeah, see, I just the only thing I tell people is, one, you got them, they'll do anything to try to sit there to make you bigger, stronger, faster in any type of way possible. And you don't know what they're trying to do. You don't know what they're trying to get to. You don't know what they up to. And you have a lot of people who donate their bodies to science even once they die, to where they can sit there and do other things and test other things, and but the main thing is that's all inhuman type of stuff that they do, because at no time that God told us to do that. At no time.
Elder, I just posted something on your Facebook page because I didn't know how to share it. It's I got it from a friend. I listened to it. He's supposed to be an ex-CIA agent, and supposedly he talks about this virus and how it is man-made or whatever, more or less like a biological warfare. I just posted it on your Facebook page, so when you got the time, listen to it.
Okay.
And he talks about taking the virus shot too. He said, don't take it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't take it. I don't take flu shots as it is, because most people fail to realize, if you go to a doctor and they ask you to do you want to take your flu shot? The simplest thing to do is the same thing if you go to a restaurant and they tell you, you're going to order this and you order that, or they tell you about something else, they're going to proceed to tell you what ingredients are in that particular item. But most of us will go unawares and go to a hospital and they'll sit there and proceed to want to give you a flu shot, and none of us ask what's in it. Nobody. They just, okay, I take a flu shot and not ask what's in it.
They put pig enzymes in there.
Huh?
Pig enzymes.
Yeah. Well, how can somebody deny you? Because people say, well, they don't do that. How do you know they don't? See, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what's in it.
Yeah, I don't take shots either.
I've taken it twice in my lifetime. The first time it made me sick as a dog. And
Yeah.
the second time
won't
was
take
because of work. I had to take it.
Yeah, because I don't know what's in it. And I ask them the same question. Every time they offer it to me, I say, yeah, can you tell me what's in it?
I know I
Right.
took it, and it made me sick the first time. I didn't take it for a few years. Then I got the flu, and I was working in DC at the time, and so I went to the doctors. They gave me a flu shot, and then the following year, my doctor said, "Well, since you had the flu, why don't you go and get preventative and take a flu shot?" And that's been maybe about 4 years ago. That's the last time I had a flu
Tell you
shot.
what,
So I
tell you
took
what,
the flu shot that the doctor said to take, and shown up, and I was in West Virginia. I'm living in West Virginia, and I'm commuting to DC. And
mhm,
so when I ended up still getting the flu, when I went to the doctor and I said, well, wait a minute, I had the flu shot. I should not have be getting the flu. They told me that it was a different strand. So, and I
See?
said,
what
okay,
King,
never
what King
mind.
was talking about.
They
What
they
King
come
King's
up
was
with
like,
Thinking
different
I'm
you're not
strands
lying.
every year.
demographic.
Every year they push a different strand out.
Yeah, like this year's flu shot is for the strand they had out last year, believe it or not. So they don't give you the strand that you need for the strain of flu that's out for this year. They've
No,
been
because
doing that. That's why I don't
the
do it no
reason
more.
the reason why we see a high amount, like they say, more people die of the flu than this coronavirus, is because it's designed for that. It's designed to take people out. The weaker ones. It's designed to take them out. See, that's their way of controlling population, and they're not doing it by shooting you or executing you in some way, or putting you away in some dark dungeon or something like that. They say nature taking its course, but yet they're weaponizing
Yeah,
the germs.
but I'm gonna share with everybody one quick thing. A lot of people, we have quite a few people in there right now. So I'll tell you one thing what everybody need to do. And always understand this, even though this is a cold season, flu season, everything else. Now, same thing, women know this very well, and men should know this pretty much, even if you have kids. When they get sick, what do the first thing the kid have?
Runny nose.
Huh? Runny
Oh.
nose,
Runny nose.
and they have an earache.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, sore throat.
Number one, a cold do not enter through your nose or your throat.
It's your
Ever.
feet, ain't it?
No, it goes through your ear. That's why kids have an earache. Now, tell you a little trick. Now, if they get a cold, you're wasting your time. But your kids, well, right now, kids not in school. But when your kids get in, the first thing everyone should do. Now, you can make a kid lay down, and then you can do what I'm talking about. But it's harder to get them to do it. But I've test and error, I found a fast way to do it. And it's real simple because I even do it. Because normally you have to lay down and you get a dropper and you drop hydrogen peroxide in your ear because it kills any bacteria, anything, and it kills it. And I drop it in my ear, and then you lay it on your side for about 5 to 10 minutes. And you do both sides. Now you have to deal with a kid. Whole nother ball game. So I found a way around it. So what I started doing is, if people around you coughing, you feel a cold or whatever's around you, what you do is this. You go buy you some cotton balls, which you probably can't find them now. Get some cotton balls, but have some hydrogen peroxide. You take so much of it to where when you soak it, it'll go mush to where you can literally stuff it in your ear, but you want it sloppy wet, meaning you want it to be, it can drip, but you don't want it dripping down your neck, but you want it drippy. And you want to put it in both sides of your ear, and you can sit up like this. You don't have to lay on your side. You can get your kids, now you can do the kids like that. They might dislike the coldness of it, but you can get them to keep it in their ear. It works better. And what it does, it kills everything. Now you might see them for an hour or two, they might get a scratchy throat and everything else. That lets you know it was a virus there, but it's killing it off. The next day, they normal as all get out. They can go right back just as normal. The same thing is, you do it in time, you don't let a day go by. Because like my wife might have a cold, whatever. And if I'm doing it, I'm nothing goes on. But if you get a cold and then you decide to do it, you're wasting your time, because the cold gonna run. You gotta remember, it's a virus. It's going to run its course. That's why you can go in a store and you'll see an entire aisle is dedicated to what? The common cold. The common cold. The cold is a virus. The virus do not enter through your nose. It don't enter through your throat. It's going to enter through your ear. The easiest way to get into your body. And all you do is stuff. As soon as you're sitting there, you might be sitting next to somebody just woofing, 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 woofing. Do that, put it in your ear, sit there, continue to do your work. 5, 10 minutes, it might be in there, take them out, you're good to go. And I did that every day. While cold season is out. Hydrogen peroxide costs you what? 99 cents a bottle. Go buy you a stuffed thing of cotton balls. That'll last you a couple of years. Because one cotton ball you might use 3 or 4 or 5 times on both ears. Because once you take it out, that one cotton ball is enough to have like 3 or 4 sessions of doing that. Because once you finish, you just toss it. But you make sure you go in your ear. If your kid caught a cold, you're wasting your time. And I always got to take that. And I'd like to make sure people understand that. If the kid has a cold or is already coming with a cold, don't even waste your time and do it. Because you're already affected now. What you're doing, you're getting it before it is infected. It kills it off. Works like a charm. Been doing it for years. So
I was the king of ear infection growing up, Eld.
Yeah, and I'm talking ear infection, because that's where it comes in at. Now, the main thing is, doctor don't even tell you that, do they?
Nope, they want to give you something else to drop in your ear.
Yeah, now take this, now take that. No, take this. And the same thing is, well, I'm notorious for doing that. You be around here, you catch a cold, and what else I give you? We don't have no Robitussin and the other thing. I go buy some lemons, some regular lemons, and I go buy some raw honey.
Yep, raw honey, not that cheap stuff, raw honey.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you, everybody's saying, well, that don't sound bad. I'm gonna tell you, it don't until you drink it. And I get it, and I get those lemons, because those lemons, you still want the enzymes in there still alive. So what it does, if your kid's chest is congested, it has a lot of cold in there. That's another thing why, number one, if you guys buying regular milk from a cow, putting it in your house, stop. Everything goes in that cow going into your child. That milk was made for a calf. It wasn't made for a human. The women have the children, they have breast milk. That's what for that child. If you decide don't do that, then you use almond milk. You do that yourself. But the reason why you wonder why your kid has so much mucus is getting the nourishment that a calf's supposed to have. And you putting it in your child. This is what we do. And we watch them doing it. Oh yeah, well, and then you wonder why you so full of mucus. So the same thing is, now you need to dry all that up. You get the lemons, which dries it up. You get the honey, which soothes the throat. And you can sit there, you mix it. I normally put 2 lemons for adults. And I'm telling you, it sounds good. Now my brother like it. I don't get it.
I like it too, Elder.
I don't get it. It's the nastiest stuff in the world. And I'll do 2 lemons, and then I put some honey in there, and I normally heat it for about a good 30 seconds, just to where it's warm enough to where you take it and boil. I almost take castor oil before I take that. But when she gets sick, I make it. It's like I'm gonna make somebody. I'm gonna make you. You're gonna drink it. And I sit right there and watch you drink it. I gotta make sure you drink it.
Hey, Elder,
Yeah.
that peroxide also, if you got a toothache or if your gums are bothering you, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, if you got an abscess, you gargle with that peroxide. I keep it around the house. And matter of fact, I gargle with peroxide every day.
Yeah, we got somebody in here talking about she's a nurse for years with peroxide. In fact, the virus is true. I won't even get antibiotics for my children or myself for virus. Yeah, literally, you don't see none of that in my house. You don't even see that. So the simplest thing, and all you got to do, if somebody, especially when cold's out, because people still send their kids to school and they know their kid is sick. They clearly know their kid is sick, and it's a way to where you can do it, and you can even bag it up. But some kids still ain't gonna do it. But you sit there and you're around people, stuff your ears with it. You walking around, and most people can't even see it. Once you put it in your ear, you won't even know you got it. You got it in your ear, and you just do that. Next thing you know, you take it out. You're good. You're good. And guess what it costs you to do that? About 2 pennies. And that's it. 2 pennies, and then you good to go. So those are things you look at. Those are things that you get into. But the main thing is they'll sit there and they'll tell you to take all this other stuff because they saying you feeling sick and you feeling this way, and you're not. And then what you'll do, you ingesting stuff because that cold, once that cold comes in you, it's a wrap at that point. But try it. And that's the simplest thing to do. I'm talking about you guys, if you do it, you'll be shocked. You can be around your husband, your children. If they have a cold and they just start coming with a cold, you start doing that to yourself, and you'll see you're not gonna get no cold. It's not gonna happen to you. You'll sit right there and like, man, I'm sure I'm not getting cold, not gonna even touch you. Try it. So hopefully, that'll take care of it. But but the main thing is still with this coronavirus, we're seeing that they patenting stuff. So if they patenting something, they have an antidote for it. Why they won't put it out, I don't know. But the main thing is, I do know $2 trillion is sitting in the economy. And that $2 trillion, great, I guarantee over 80% of it gonna go in somebody's pocket.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
That's
without a
like
fact.
when Clinton was president, they balanced the budget. They had a
Yeah.
surplus. Bush came in, it was in the negative.
Flipped it upside down.
Where the money at?
Yeah, flipped it upside down. And see, and people still don't understand, how can this guy, Larry Silverstein, so the same thing you've seen other politicians who had their money in the stock market, they took their money out the stock market right before all those crashes started happening. Same as this Larry guy. He leasing the Twin Towers in New York. Now, if we leasing the 10 Twin Towers in New York, what gonna give you the common sense? I'm gonna tell you what, I'm leaving, let me get terrorist insurance.
Tell it, Elder.
It don't even make common terrorist insurance.
Yep.
You got hey Mercury, do you guys have terrorist insurance? Do you have any insurance like that? Yeah. And he got $4,550,000,000, and he don't own them. He was leasing them.
Didn't he bought those buildings for little or nothing?
Yeah, no, he was leasing them. He didn't own them.
Because I know they were selling the World Trade Towers at the time.
Yeah.
And
So he
it was up
leased
for
them
sale.
for 99 years. Yeah, so he leased them for 99 years. He wouldn't buy them. He leased them.
Okay.
Which, boy, see, it's some stuff I just don't get into because YouTube, so I don't get into it. But the main thing is this. Why buy something and I can have the same thing and all I got to do is lease it?
Mm-hmm.
You got to come up with all the money. All I got to do is come up with a fraction of what you're asking for. Leasing it, but it's still, I'm operating it, so I have to insure it like it's mine because I'm leasing it. Think about it. You think about it, you probably saw when you catch what I'm talking about. If you lease anything, that's the same as you okay, buying and leasing a car. You know, this Corona crap. Buying and leasing a car. Which one is smarter? See, that's the catch. Which one is smarter?
It all depends. At least you don't have to deal with all the
Keep going.
all of your maintenance and everything.
Keep going. Okay.
Actually, you do want to lease. The thing of it is with a lease is that the liability of certain mechanical failures is not on you. The only thing with a lease is that you have to watch your mileage because you can't go over the agreed upon mileage. But in recent years, they've actually adjusted that. So that, you know, if you drive like, let's say I live, West Virginia to DC, so that's like 89 miles one way.
96
so
miles.
Yeah, 96 miles one way. So if you drive, if you can get your lease to be, for that type of mileage every year for 5 years, then, you can go ahead on and lease. I have a girlfriend and she leases. She found out that leasing was better and she's been leasing the vehicle ever since. And she says she's going to lease until she retires, which will be in the next few years.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a secret, but a lot of it we could do this offline, to where I can see, because just like I tell anybody, I'm very open about. I'm a Republican myself, but I didn't put those dummies in there. I didn't put the dummy Bush, and I didn't put especially this idiot. I didn't do that. But the main thing is this: when you have to understand how they make holes. So the same thing, like that's why with this coronavirus, somebody getting ready to make a whole bunch of money, but that's blood money. And that's something you shouldn't be one to deal with. But some people don't care. See, you dealing with dead people money. It makes no sense. Meaning what? You let people die just to die, and then you can label it anything based on the death certificate. So the same thing is, my father passed, less than a month ago. Now, he passed normal causes, but he probably is in that same count with what? With that coronavirus, and he didn't have it. But they might put him in the same count, same as my cousin. She was 90 years old, a little bit over 90 when she died. Had nothing to do with anything, but they probably put her in that count. Now, the thing is, when you're dealing with leasing, as what you're saying, leasing, you got to deal with everything, according to how, if you're gonna treat that car as if you own it, because you're leasing it. So you have the legal right to do what you want to do with that car. Meaning what? You can change the wheels on that car. You can change the tires on it. You have people who do that. They'll change the wheels and tires on it. You can change the color of that car. You can do whatever you want. It's your car. But when the car, you have to give it back to its owner. The car has to be back, and it has to be in the same shape as when you bought it. Meaning this, it only should be added on there is the mileage. Now, if you painted it blue and you bought it black, then you should have just bought a blue one, because now it has to go back to the black. Because you painted it blue for your enjoyment, but now you have to put it back black. You have to put the same type of, you can't, if you put the regular rims on there or you put those extra rims on there, they'll sit there, and most of them will charge you for that. Even though you got the regular rim, they'll still charge you for it, even though they might even sell the car with those rims on there. But they want it back the way it came. But as you said, you're not responsible if that motor goes out, and as long as you did everything responsible. So guess what they do? You can buy maintenance packages where you don't have to change no oil. You don't have to do anything. You can do it. They do everything for you. Long as you keep your end and that car comes back as is, you scot free. Now, what do that mean? Most of them, you pay once, you stay with that same manufacturer. Most time, you pay once, you never pay again. All you do is drop the car off and you get another one. That's it. So say like you might pay, I just call them buy-ins. You might pay a $3,000, $4,000 buy-in, but then the note might be on it. You know, some people pay more. You might pay $800, $900 to purchase this vehicle, but you might spend $400 or $500 or even less to lease the vehicle. But they say, at least I'm owning it. Okay. 5 years later, guess what? You might be in another one. They getting ready to pay for upkeep, everything else, because now everything falls on them. But they say, but I don't have no issues. They was paying double what you was paying. Keep that in mind. They was paying twice as much as you was paying a month. Now you getting ready, you take that vehicle back, the money that you had put down, they literally give you another vehicle. You don't put no more money down unless you're going to lease somebody else's vehicle. But if you normally go to the same manufacturer, they normally give you another vehicle. If somebody paying for it, then you dealing with the wrong people. Because once you put the money in that lease, say if you getting it from GM will let you go into another car under the money that you originally put down, and as long as you stay on the lease, all they want to do is keep getting that residual payment. They'll give you a car. That car, that's irrelevant. Why? Because when the car come back, they're gonna sell it pre-owned, and they're gonna sell it about 15 to 20% less than what it would really cost for them, which is still marked up, which they're gonna make a killing off of it anyway. So they don't care, and then don't let you keep the car in good shape. They always gonna make sure you getting what you need. Why? Because they know one, like I'd be the perfect example. I don't do 150 miles a week. So I'd be a perfect candidate for them if I was leasing their vehicle. And then they'll say, okay, Ron Terry, yeah, he's the best one. Because guess what? Every time I bring the vehicle in, the vehicle ain't got, after 3 and 5 years, the vehicle ain't got 15,000 miles on it, 20,000. They're gonna sell the vehicle like new, and they're gonna get almost like new prices. But it's a catch behind that. See, when you want to see, because some of them they'll tell you can't write stuff off, but you don't have to use they'll tell you have to use certain forms to do certain things, and it's twisted around another way. You can actually do more what you think you can do than what you don't think you can do. But you can actually everything that you pay for, you can make them pay you for it. You have to
That's
remember
back in your taxes, right?
Huh?
In taxes, right?
In taxes. Yeah. Because everything you do, you have it's the ability what you can prove.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is based on that. It's based on what you can prove. That's why you have those high-end Republicans. That's why they're so dominant. People see them where they're making 20, 50, $75 million a year, and they paying nothing in taxes. People can't figure that out, but it's a common sense issue behind that. And that's how they get over. That's literally how they get over. Jesse. 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 I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying shalom. Shalom. Yeah, regarding what you were saying, as you well know, I'm a contractor. So my line of work, of course, going to a tax accountant and everything, my life pretty much revolves around writing things off.
Mm-hmm.
And so the materials I purchase, everything to the people that I pay that, do work for me, You know, actually, if you do work outside of your zip code and you buy lunch or dinner or even groceries for that matter, I mean, some people even go to that extent. They'll go grocery shopping while they're on their work. I mean, it's crazy what you can do. It's and you literally will write everything off. The only problem is if you don't show an income at the end of the year, right? Well, number one, you won't get anything back for taxes. You can't really get anything back if you have a child or children. You can't claim anything if you don't pay anything. So there are adverse side effects to that. However, you know, truly, there are ways. Like me, I buy tools. My truck is used for business. That's what I do. I go to work and I come home. So things are written off. And at the end of the year, I don't make a whole lot of money because it really all goes back into the business. What you see is not exactly, you know, it's, how do you say? Sometimes what you see isn't exactly what it is.
You said, yeah, exactly. That's like if you're an LLC or S corporation, you know, you can put 150 grand in there, and you actually don't have to state it.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, I was an LLC for a moment, and I'm like, well, wait a second, I'm paying it way too much money for really no good reason. And even though I carry my workers' compensation and general liability $2 million coverage, those are written off. Everything is written off. My accountant fees, phone, truck. So the things I have, these expenses, right? They're not taxable because they are actual write-offs. And gas receipts, right? I can either do one thing or the other, but if I do the one thing, I can't switch to the other the next year. So for instance, if my gas expenses per year are $10,000 in a year, let's just say, I know it's kind of a high number, but let's just say 500 a week or something like that, right? Let's just say 500 a week. So I'm like 2,000 a month. That's 12 months, right? So that's 24. I mean, it's, you know, 20,000, 24, you know, basically, what is that? 20,400, 24,000. And, you know, I can write that off. Or if I get the more mileage, I get X amount per mile. Now my gas expenses might be $100, you know, or I mean, I'm sorry, a month. Per month might be like $300 per month. Multiply that by 12, right? That's $3,600. Well, the mileage I get is like 20,000 miles. Well, it fluctuates. So if I do the mileage, it's actually like 55, somewhere around the average of 55 cents a mile.
Yeah, I think you get 57, 56 or 57.
Yeah. So it does fluctuate year to year, but yeah, it does exactly. So, so it's like, well, what do I do? 3,600 write off, or do I do like 10 or 11,000 write off? Well, naturally, 10 or 11,000 write off is, you know, so you write that off. But once you go with the mileage, you can't go to gas receipt. Like say you end up handicapped or some unfortunate incident happened where you're not actually getting that mileage in. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, my gas receipts are more. And I don't know how that would happen, but you know, and then there's purchases. And I mean, it's just really a laundry list of things that an accountant would go over you with, but there truly are ways. The one thing I will say, always just make sure that you have, you know, your house and the things, you know, your credit up and those sorts of things. If that's what you're concerned with, make sure those things are in order first. When you do go into business for yourself, and then that way, you know, your loans won't be rejected or your you know.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, you know, if you got everything in order, and seeing the main thing what a lot of people fail to realize, and same thing what would happen. I can walk in the bank just like this, just like I'm dressed now with this regular shirt. But and you see a bank and they have, hey, how you doing, this and that. I walk in that bank with a suit on, like I thought I stepped into to get my nails done. Like I don't even need to, and I don't need money. They'll almost forget to even run your credit to try to give you money.
Oh
How do
yeah.
I know? How do I know? Because it's true. I don't went through this. I can tell you some things off screen on where I went into banks. I can tell you some crazy things they did. And they sitting there telling me what they can do. They can do with this. They can do with that. Just the same thing. I don't know. You might know about this. Before Dum Dum got it. Well, I can't even call him. I need to write him a letter. I need to write George Bush a letter because I did call him real stupid. But the one we got in there that's stupid now make George Bush look like a brainiac. So I need to apologize to him. But the main thing is this: you can do things. You can do things.
Mhm.
When you trying to generate some money, you can do things to where if you got everything set right, same thing, your credit's right, everything's right. And I know you should remember this. You ever remember when people try to buy houses, they do stated income?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they had to
Yep.
stop people from doing it.
Yeah, that was back right before the bubble. That was a huge thing back.
And most people don't even know. Most people don't even know in here, they could have became millionaires.
They truly could have if they would have played their cards right.
They would have played their cards right. Just on stated income. Meaning what? Most people don't know what that means. And I just tell you overall what it just means. You get ready to buy a house. You're not going to show your tax records. You're not going to show your income. They're going to be based on what you state. They say, well, you need to be earning this much money. Yep, that's how much money I earn. State it.
Boom. Just like that.
Just like that. I tell you what,
Yep.
I made more money than the law allowed. We used to lend like money, but you don't have the money. So what we'll do, we'll have it in your bank and they can show it in your bank, but it's not your money, it's our money.
Oh yeah. Like boosting a brother up or
We used to do
something
that
to that
notorious.
effect.
Yeah. The bank say
That work with property too, Elder.
Yeah. We used to say, they used to say, well, we need to see this amount in your account. We used to charge a percentage and we'll put that in the account where they can see it. And it looked like it's yours, but it ain't yours. You can't take nothing out of there. And they'll sit there and they say, yep, he got it.
Long as it's there for like, well, what they require is what, like 2 maybe months, 3 months, something like that.
Mainly, it was mainly 2 months. Over here, they was hitting people for 2 months. And guess what? We made you pay for that 2 months.
I mean, you
They
get
did
hit
that when they buy homes also.
Yeah.
Huh?
When you buy homes years ago.
No, you can do it now.
Yeah, they still do that now too.
Yeah,
Where they check your account ever so often, see if that money's still there.
God, please.
Yes,
There's
sir.
too many ways around it. There's too many ways around it. So that's why I say, with that $2 trillion, see, that's why I say it's a smoke screen there. 2 trillion. See, most people don't really understand. Let's get the understanding of trillion. See, this is what people really need to get understanding of. Okay, no, we have Amazon. Amazon worth is what? I'm gonna check it to where we'll know exactly what it's worth. Amazon net worth. Let me pull this up because I think they worth for like $100 and something billion. So I'm gonna pull this up. I want to see what they were.
Oh, Jeff Bezos is crazy rich. And
yeah,
then
he's like 146 billion.
And then him and his wife talked about separating the splitting the assets. Was it last year, the year before? They were getting divorced or something.
Yeah. Okay. So it says Amazon, they just increased their fiscal year. So Amazon is worth $1 trillion.
Yeah.
1 trillion. Mind you, it's 2 trillion in there. Now, so we need to see, but mainly we need to understand what $1 trillion is and why why is something else is more to it. Okay, Bill Gates now is worth what? Like 80 billion, So we got to take $100 billion, 100 billion, time that time 10, $100 billion, you get $1 trillion. 10, 100 billion of them. You got to have that much to come up with $1 trillion.
I was actually completely taken aback when I heard and found out. I was like, wow, Jeff Bezos. And I wasn't surprised. Let me be honest with you, because I had done a lot of research a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first heard about Jeff Bezos buying Whole Foods, I was like, wow, this dude, okay, all right, we're definitely in the time, of like oligarchs rising or something to that effect here in the US, because it seems like that's what it is. It's not even just a complete government takeover, it's a complete monopoly takeover of private interests. And it truly is like a corporate run country.
Mm-hmm. So
what
now,
it is.
now you see Jeff Bezos, he's worth 113 billion. 113 billion. So a trillionaire can buy this man almost 10 times. Almost 10 times he can buy this man. He can literally buy him and Bill Gates. He can buy him and Bill Gates at least twice.
But
as you say, Elder, it's a lot going on behind that couple of trillion.
Yeah.
And it's a smoke screen.
Yeah, it is.
If you look at DC, I don't know if anybody actually paid attention to it, but DC flies its own flag. It doesn't fly the American flag. What I mean by DC, when you see the president riding around, he has 2 flags on his vehicle.
Yeah.
And he also has 2 flags in the White House. And then you see London, England, the financial district, also flies a different flag from England.
Also. Oh, you're talking about like city states?
Those are the controlling states.
Yeah,
the United States is the actual military might. London, England is the
bankers,
financial capital.
I mean,
and then they all, then the 2 of them is up under the Vatican.
That all sounds good, but I think it's a lot deeper than that personally. In my research, I mean, I'm convinced it's a much deeper.
If Elder, look up Lex Fori, Lexfori. It's a ancient Roman law that we all up under.
Yeah, I see it here. I had to study
it. It's a maritime law.
It's actually there. Yeah, I had to check this.
It's a maritime law that we all are up under.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something new there. That one I never knew. Yeah.
This is a lot of stuff that I was looking up a long time ago.
Yeah, because it speaks about when the courts decide that it should, for reason principle, conflict of law, resolve given legal dispute, reference to law and jurisdiction, still govern procedural matters, what they're saying. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why the office of the presidency is not a person, it's an office. So whoever holds the office is covered under the office of the presidency, not being a person. So that's why they're not it was a movie, I can't remember, oh my goodness, and it was one of my favorite movies that Wesley Snipes was in, and this person who was in the Secret Service, and it was some kind of it was Murder at 1600. That's the name of the movie, and basically they kind of covered that. It's and they were talking about how there was this murder there. Some young woman was killed, but they were covering it up, and the reason why they could cover it up because the president's son actually committed the murder, and the murder was committed in the White House. So because of these different governing type of rules and regulations and laws that don't apply to the Constitution, and it does not apply to regular people like you and I, they were actually able to get away with this murder until some kind of way, I think they was able to actually prove that it was a setup, but that the son actually didn't do the murder with somebody else to try to bring down the president and some type of political implosion. And but yeah, that's the reason why you see presidential flags and not the American flags on the vehicles when they ride in their motorcades. That's right.
Yeah, but talking about, yeah, it's a lot of
It's deep.
stuff.
It's the rabbit hole that would get a lot of people thinking, about some things that they wouldn't think that American government would be doing. But the American government, like they say about the Constitution of the United States, well, that got changed in the 1800s, late 1800s. A lot of people don't know that either.
Yeah.
That
So,
it switched over to bankers because the United States ran out of money during the war.
Mm-hmm.
And the bankers came in and bailed them out.
Are you familiar with, well, obviously, I'm sure you're familiar with like the railroad lines, and then moving on into like Bell South, like telephone companies and their whole monopoly, and how there were people, the laws were created to not have monopolies. And so what they did to circumvent that, they had partners that opened up a sister corp or silent partners, if you will.
That's how Pat Bell and AT&T split up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were getting too big.
Yeah, they was getting too big. But just like people have a problem with, see, that's why I'm telling you the issue is, that's why I keep going back to it. Don't let that smoke screens fool you guys. It's something else there.
There's always something there.
2 trillion. It makes it's $2 trillion in the system.
Plus,
and they can't even find that.
Mnuchin has discretion over part of that budget, a good portion of that budget. He has a blank check over a portion of that budget. Mnuchin, Steve Mnuchin.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. See, that's the biggest problem. So that's why I say, so if they need some casualties, they'll develop casualties. There's no problem for them to do that. Because you got to remember, if you in the way of someone's, getting 30, 40 million out of the cut, you dead as a doorknob. What you doing?
Be quite honest with you, and that's kind of because you've seen a lot of that during a lot of these election times, especially this allegedly, I guess, during this last Clinton Trump administration thing, where everybody was, Hillary Clinton, this and that, a bunch of her friends were off and whatnot. My question is, were they delivering the right type of truth anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. There's truth out there, but then there's truth, in the word. Yeah, and where do you kind of, because I got so deep in them other studies, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, man, my life is just chaotic, just through and through, studying this stuff. Everything from Shabtai Zvi, the false Messiah in 1666, linking together dates and seeing how they plan things out for the last 500 years, to now I'm like, you know what? I just want the word of God. That's all I need.
Yeah, because they'll put a false, my biggest thing is where a lot of us with a lot of confusion, they're going to make irrational decisions. That's going
Yeah,
to
they're
be
gonna
an
get shook.
yeah, exactly
They
what's
will.
going to happen. As soon as that happens, and then it's going to be too late for a lot of people.
We're seeing it
See,
now, and this, we don't know if this is the part of the first trumpet, or we don't know. But
well, look
it's
at it.
good to keep your ears to the ground and be cautious
Yeah.
about it. But we see people being shook right now because they buying the store out.
Yeah,
But
exactly the point.
you got millions of people saying that they're Christians, right? So-called Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
They follow God, they follow in Christ, and they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
But this right here, is coming down the pipe, and they jumping off the buildings.
Yeah, they act a fool. That's what they do. So since they do that, and they know they can shake you, and all they need to do is keep that confusion going there while they right in your back pocket robbing you. And once everything be okay, and they say we fixed everything, $2 trillion, you can carry you that don't even come up no more.
You're gonna forget about it.
Yeah, it's a wrap at that point. Same as people looked at the $700 billion that Bush wanted to give to some companies, loan company and auto companies. Nobody don't even talk about it.
Oh yeah, and they all flew in on their private jets.
Hey, you giving me a few? I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna see if I can retire and get 5 times much as I was getting for the rest of my life.
That's it.
But a lot of this stems back to also, everything that we go through in our life, the major things that nations go through, it's coming through the scriptures, but the scriptures doesn't give direct, precise information on a lot of things, So yeah, we're going through something right now, and who's to say we're not going to go through something else next year? This is not the end of it. This is the start of something to come, because right now you see the whole world is being activated at one time, and only time you see stuff like this happen when there's a world war.
Yeah.
And right now the whole world's being activated at one time. All of the world's powers, just like I saw an article about the Pope having meetings with the UE leaders and telling them that the United Europe needs to become Confederate, and it needs to do it now.
And see, and that's gonna be a problem within itself. But
because what the Pope was doing when they had that G20 meeting over in I think it was Germany a few years ago, and he didn't like the message that was coming out of there, Pope Francis, between Putin, Trump, and Xi out of China. He didn't like the messaging that was coming, so he ordered a meeting with the EU leaders, and he said that Europe needs to become federate, and he needs to do it now. And there's another article recently came out not too long ago saying that he had another meeting with them at the Vatican, saying that the project can't fail. And he keep calling it the project. It can't fail.
Well, the main thing is, like I think you got some people thinking it'd be a World War III. It ain't gonna be no shots fired, my brother.
Oh no, not like that. Not like that.
Can I read y'all something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know we're talking a little carnal, but this is something I was researching years ago, and it made me think of this conversation. And there was a Scottish historian in 1787 And he states, while our first 13 states adopted their new constitution, Alexander Tyler, who was a Scottish history professor at the University of Edinburgh, said this about the fall of the Athenian Republic some 2,000 years earlier, right? He said, and this was something that had come to mind. This is while I was, really kind of thinking politically and really into the world. A democracy is always temporary in nature. It simply cannot exist as a permanent form of government. A democracy will continue to exist up until the time that the voters discover they can vote themselves generous gifts from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates who promise the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that every democracy will finally collapse due to loose fiscal policy, which is always followed by a dictatorship. And here are the steps, right? The liberals in Congress typically, but not always found in the Democratic Party, are simply following a tradition clearly discussed over 200 years ago. Our democracy is mature and the past 200 years cycle predicted by history. Professor Tyler went on to say the following about the 8 steps. Here's 8 steps that a democracy goes through: from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to complacency, from complacency to apathy, from apathy to dependence, from dependence back into bondage.
But we're gonna tell you what. Gonna tell you what. Tell you what you just quoted. The heading and the doctrine of a Christian church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfectly. It's the doctrine in the leading of a Christian church. And yeah, it's stuff that I want to say, but literally I just don't say based on some things. But
that was something that I researched about 5, I want to say it was like 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago. That had just rung a bell.
Yeah, see, because if people want to see a nut or just a straight nut, and he's a straight out nut. Go read Philo stuff. And see, and if people jive with what he's talking about, that let you know he can manipulate you.
Yeah, all the philosophers. Well, Philo, right? He was the progenitor, right, of philosophy.
Yep.
Right.
And he wasn't. He's nothing to be played with.
Yeah. Yeah. Philosophy can twist a man's mind up quick. I mean, through. At the end of the day, it's like, here we are. What do we do? I mean, the war is within, regardless of the fact. That's where you build your rock. I mean, that's where you build your faith upon that rock. I mean, so you're not moved, regardless of the fact. I mean, that's truly where the war is at. The war is not in some World War III. The war is not in, picking our butts up and moving over to some other country at a certain time, predestined or something of that nature. That has nothing to do with anything at all. It's all spiritual warfare. It's all, it's blatant throughout Scripture.
Yeah, see, now we have someone sitting there saying English PM test positive, German chancellor. She also tested positive. Canada's PM wife positive. See, I'm gonna tell you, Prince Charles. Now I know he left here and went to Canada. Oh, still okay. Why? Ordinarily died family. Strange. No, it's not strange. If I stand to make $100 million out of this deal, to say I tested positive, if I was shady enough, I wouldn't have a problem. Yeah, put them up that tested positive.
There's this young lady, she's a rap artist, and she said that she needs to be paid also, because if these athletes got the coronavirus, saying they got it, and she got it too, and she need to be paid.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's what's happening with a lot of us.
I sent you also an email of that article about Pope Francis. He did an article with a newspaper, and he was talking about the EU being Confederate.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm definitely, you emailed it. Yeah, I definitely check it. But what we got to do, as I'm telling people, normal, take your time. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it here. Take your time. Don't get caught up in a whole bunch of craziness that people are doing. And same thing. All you do is look around you. And the main thing is, when you get caught up, it's the same as a lion when the lion goes out and hunt. It focuses on what?
Your weakness.
Fear.
Exactly.
Also.
Fear. That's what they operate on. The reason they operate on fear is a certain reason. Most people don't know why all animals operate on fear.
They can smell it.
So once they see that you fear anything, you're gonna make fearful decisions. You're gonna make confusing decisions, and your choices 9 times out of 10 will be the wrong decision.
Like acting out of desperation.
Yeah, and they can smell it a mile away. That's why I said you can walk into a bank with a t-shirt on and shorts and be a multimillionaire. Won't nobody deal with you in the bank. You can walk in the bank dead broke with a nice suit on and shoes clean on, and they're gonna sit there and greet you. Can I help you?
They're so carnal though. That's why.
Yeah. You don't have to stand in line. Come over here, we'll help you.
So you got to play the game because you know it.
Yeah, you know the game. You have to understand how to operate. That's why he says you be
in the
harmless
world.
as a dove. Yeah, you got to be harmless as a dove, but you got to be you got to know the game.
And you know that's right, Elder, because on my job they can't figure me out, but I get everything I want.
Yeah. So the main thing is, just stay calm, keep doing what you're doing, but let's use common sense, wash our hands. But the main thing is, after everything is over, they're gonna come back more aggressive. And if we sit there, and the same thing is, you have sisters out there, brothers out there trying to crank up, a business here, a business there. You don't sit there and support. Okay, then when your community don't get built up, who you got to blame is you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a perfect time. Truly, this is a test, a warning, really, truly, to like, hey.
Exactly. See, in the time of adversity is a time when really you can get over.
That's the best time because that's when the bankers get over.
They make money hand over foot during this time.
Especially a wartime. And you're like, how can anybody make money during the wartime? You're like, what? You know how much money is in death?
Oh yeah, tons.
Y'all can, you know what I'm saying? You can do that, or you can be bringing, go outside and plant a tree, a fruit tree, a tomato plant, some kind of seed, spread knowledge.
Yeah, you can spread all day long, but the money is there. The main thing is they can keep you in fear. They're going to keep you in confusion. You worrying about what? Where I'm gonna get my next meal from? What about this water? And the same thing, the first thing left out of all these places, water, toilet paper. So again, ask people again, why all the water disappeared? It's bottled water. Bottled water. With reverse osmosis, take all the minerals out. All those left the shelf. But if you have a filter on your water faucet and you just removing that, why are you buying all this bottled water?
Shoot, you ain't gonna find me buy. I might buy some Fiji, but
Yeah, Fiji, Voss, I get. You know, Fiji, I think come at a 7.3. I think Voss
yeah,
come at a 7.4, 7.5.
It's something else. I think it's another one called Ever Something, but that's at a 9.6.
Yeah, see now that one you got to watch because when it goes over, because normal, like you can go up into the mountains, you can get regular mountain water, and that water don't go normally come out at about a 7.5,
7. Right.
7.6.
Right.
Gonna come down those points. When they start amping it up, you start kind of watching them. Now you had a guy in Australia. He got a like a little running river in his or little running stream in his back, and he actually pumps that water. It comes out of there at 8.5. He sells the water in the United States. He literally said, yeah, and this, he's getting over like a fat rat. And the catch is this: as you do the water here, and what they're doing, people is sitting there going after pH water, and most people don't even know the water coming out of your regular faucet is already at a 7.2, 7.3. Most people don't even know that. And all you gotta do is put a filter out what they clean the water with, and you got 7.3 water already in your house.
I think the biggest concern, Elder, is the fact that you know how they try to scrub the water as well as they can through the city filtration or the sanitation department, and that with all the prescription medications and stuff, they when you speak to them, they say, well, we can't guarantee that all these different medications are being scrubbed out of the system. And so a lot of people have fear of drinking the city water for that reason, because one, it's so chlorinated. Some of them actually have an extremely strong chlorinated taste, but also that they can't guarantee that all the drugs are siphoned or filtrated out of the whole system and what have you.
So it goes back to this. You got the people in that city or that whole county. Now, I ask you a question. It's a straightforward question.
Right.
Are you paying your water bill?
Yeah.
Okay. You paying for water to come to your house, and it should come through there drinkable.
Automatic, $125 a month, whether you live there or not.
So guess what? Why everybody not getting together and put a class action lawsuit on that county and tell them, okay, we paying you guys for a service to deliver clean drinking water to my house, clean water to where I can take a shower, clean water to where I can do these things, and you're not doing that.
True that. I mean, look at Flint. Look at
yeah. But guess what? Until people won't do that, because most people are just going to complain. Put paper behind them. See, because one thing you can do, you will win. Because all you have to do, that's why, like, with like being Hebrew side of it, you'll be surprised what attorneys hire to go through documents. You'll be surprised to see how we go through documents. I can tell you one, me and him, we was in class together. He's shady as all get out. But he know how he know how to precept. So when you do it, what we do, same as we do back in class, he breaks the document down, and he gonna catch all the contradictions in their own legal documents. They use him for that, and he do it, and he every now and then he don't call me much as he used to. He say, Brother Michael, man, it's like taking candy from a baby, man. It's so much over here. No, dude, I'm good. I'm good. That's all I keep it. I'm good. Man, you just won't. And he'll tell you how he tears these documents down. It's some of what he's doing. But once you understand it, see, it's a system that you do when you do that. Because what you do, for example, because I don't even mind telling how people, but for example, when you start tearing the document down, What you want to do, one, you want to know what language is in. Most people don't even know documents, even organizations, each one of them has their own language. So first you want to understand, what do those things mean? That's key.
Right.
Once you know what stuff mean, now I'm gonna find out all their language in there, and I'm gonna find out what it means. Where I'm gonna get it from? I'm gonna get it from them. I want to know what this means. I want you tell me what this means in your language. Once I know what it means, now I'm gonna do you in. Now I'm gonna go
That's
right through your
rap.
yeah. Now I'm gonna go through your document and I'm gonna rip you apart, because if I catch a contradiction, I'm gonna nail you to the cross.
Then it validates everything.
Yeah, and man, you can do, and the crazy part is every company document has contradictions. You can't show me one that don't have it. Not one.
Men are infallible, or whatever the.
You're gonna catch a contradiction in. I don't care who document you go through, who policy you go through. They can sit there and say it's locked down tight. I guarantee you.
You know what's crazy is I caught a gang of companies, the water company, the electric company. I would talk to them for hours about these contradictions, some of the things that I, reading, even in the law. If I was, went to court, like I would always study myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hold up, but this, and I would even, even with an attorney, and I'm like, well, hold on. Have you went to this source? Have you considered that? No, I haven't. Let me go research that. Come back. Hey, you know what? You might be right.
Yeah. Yeah. And the smartest thing to always do, same thing with people, because even after this, a lot of us gonna get in trouble. So I'm just trying to help them out before I come off, because a lot of them gonna get it. But the main thing is this: when you understand what they're doing, now you can go in there properly. And what most of us do, well, Your Honor, I was trying to do this, but I couldn't do this. One, why are you calling me Your Honor? That's problem one, but that's beside the point. But now you're sitting there, you're saying all these problems. And that's not the issue, because why? You putting yourself and you trying to embed yourself in the policy or in the law. That's where your first screw up is. You're not in there. You remove yourself from the law and you just want to know what they violated.
And you talk to them as such. And you say, yes, sir, no, sir, kind of situation.
Yeah. And the same thing, this rule under this law right here was violated. Yeah. Don't sit there, Lord, and guess what? And I was sitting there, and then I didn't have no running water for the past 2 days. Oh, I. Really? Okay, go get some tissue for somebody to wipe his tears off. Sit there and say, no, this was violated under this rule. And under this rule is penalties here that goes with it. Also comes with a compensation plan based on what happened. And they're going to sit there, and what you're doing? I'm representing myself based on what happened here. They violated these things. I'm not part of the equation. You violated a law. That's what I'm gonna nail you on. And you can get them, you can get them every time. Remove yourself from the equation. Did they break a law or not? I mean, most of us want to we want to go into court, we want to go into these places, we want to go to and complain to these credit companies and all this stuff. You're going to complain based on what? On
emotion.
What they do. Exactly the point. Emotion, what they did to you.
Yeah.
Why?
And
why?
Same way the cops or the whomever, they try to get you, magistrates, all these things. Yeah. They try to force their emotion on you. And they know full well they're overcharging the instance. Yeah. They know that, but they're just playing you for the dummy.
Remove all that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through your docs and I'm gonna sit there and this is what you violated. And you're gonna unviolate this, because this is the problem. See, and I don't sit there and then I don't move. I sit there, no, this is what we violated. Well, sir, well, what do you think? No, man, remove me out the equation. why are you guys not operating according to this? This is in you guys' law, ain't it? Last I looked, I play dummy. I say, man, last I look, I'm looking at the top of the thing. This is your letterhead. Is this not your letterhead? Yeah, that's a lit. Okay. Y'all violated this, man. Somebody got to pay for this. It has nothing to do with me at that point. So the only thing they want to do is either shut me up so I can go on about my business.
Give you what well, not exactly what you want, but
done it.
Send you on your way.
Yep. And they have done it. Won't tell you what, come back here. Okay, come back there. Tell you what we do. We're gonna give this to you. and hopefully that'll take care of that. And then what we'll do, we'll throw in this and throw in that. And hopefully we can be cool again. Okay. All right. They'll walk me all the way out the door. Making sure I'm cool. They don't want me to talk to none of their customers. That's why they walk me out the door. They walk in, we walking and talking. Hey man, what you're a basketball fan? Cause now they checking because they want to make sure I don't talk to the customers. They're down now. All of a sudden, you nailed them on this. Now they think you're stupid. They think they can do that.
Oh, that's a classic Fed move, anyway. So.
Yeah. So they sit there and go through there, and we going through there. Been there, done it. But the game. And the same thing I keep telling people, when you're sitting there and you know something's going on, they're going to have casualties. Those casualties, don't be part of it. If you be part of it, some people can't avoid it, but some people can. And if you can avoid it, avoid it. Don't sit there and thinking, oh, we're going to tell you what, well, I'm covered with the Most High, so I'm going to go in this place. And I know they saying everybody in there got the coronavirus, they got all this stuff. I'm going to go in there because I'm covered in the blood of God. Okay.
Damn foolish.
Yeah, take your butt on in there. Yeah,
they give you wisdom to jump in a damn fire like that physically.
Yeah, but people do it. But people do that. They'll sit there. Yeah. Well, I'm covered with the blood of Jesus. I'm covered with the blood of Jesus. I'm gonna go in there. I don't care how many lions, tigers, and bears they got in there. Ain't none going. Remember what he did to Daniel? They didn't do nothing to Daniel. Then you go in there, and all of a sudden they say, "Well, I'll tell you what. He's on the 5 o'clock news where this man went in there with some lion, tigers, and bears, and he didn't make it." He said before he went in there, he had this message. He's covered in the blood of Jesus. He sure was bloody. And I don't think Jesus was in there.
And you know, Elder, folks keep sending me talking about starting a prayer chain against this coronavirus. I tell them, I don't pray with just anybody because I don't know if y'all serve the same God that I serve.
Yeah, that's something I don't do. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, but to tell you the same thing. Okay, again, can you show me the verse where you're supposed to start a prayer chain?
It's not in there because
I'm just wondering. They invent the most. Okay, they create some of the crazy prayer chain. So we're gonna do a prayer chain, and everybody gonna say this prayer. One, God said he don't want no vain, no repetitious prayer.
Amen.
That's one. Two, we sit in there, and as you said, you don't know who they praying to. Hit the like if you love God. If you don't hit like, then you hate God.
Yep.
If you don't send this forward, you hate God. Send this to 10 people, and if you don't send it, you hate God. It's kind of like a catch-22. So my thing is, be careful out there. But make sure you take the time and do what you want to do. Let me take Brother Smalls, and then we're going to get ready to roll on out of here. Yeah, Brother Smalls.
Yes. Thank you. Shalom, everyone. I want to point out a couple things. Don't be too quick to get yourself outside of your home. As you notice, they're saying they shut everything down, but what are the major corporations that are open still today? They shorten the hours, but they're getting more customers. Less workers, but more customers. You're going into buildings, you're getting all this water and all this food. It's getting pushed out like it's never been pushed out before.
Yeah.
Less hours. What are the places? Amazon, Walmart, Costco's, Sam's Club, Whole Foods, all of these places. Less hours, less employees. They're sitting home not making money. What else has happened? They've extended the tax period to about June, I think. Pretty sure they're going to get a tax break during this pandemic for themselves.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh, yeah.
listen, and learn. Do you actually think that they're going to actually run out of all these things? What company owns and makes all these toilet paper brands, and who has the patent on all this stuff? They've been producing chickens like crazy. You always wonder where are they getting all these chicken wings from, these wing stops? Where are they getting all these eggs from? They would never run out of them. Chicken lay eggs every day. They got
Every day.
thousands. How are they running out of it?
Hey, Brother Smalls.
I'm here.
You know, I was just saying to somebody, matter of fact, the past, couple of years, Smithfield Meats over here on the East Coast, in Smithfield, Virginia, was bought out by China a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Largest meat company on the East Coast, and certainly the oldest, being the East Coast, right?
Yes.
So China, about a year or two prior, was already getting popped for sending big frozen shipping containers over, right? With meats that were labeled from like almost up to 100 years old. I remember reading this on the news, several news articles. Oh, yeah. Meats that are like well over 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years old even. And this was a year or two prior. So when I found out that Smithfield Meats, which sells a lot of ham, right? Pork, bacon, I'm like, because I actually did tile work for the accountant for Smithfield Meats at his house that he bought, which is the Edinburgh district it's right near North Carolina. Anyways, he was helping to transition the Chinese over to the, whatever. And he, he was telling me about it. He's like, yeah, they're pretty much firing everybody, but they kept me on board to help transition all the numbers and all that. And I was like, wow, I can't believe the U.S. actually allowed China. This is like 5 years ago. I can't believe the U.S. would actually allow China to buy, out such a large company. That's crazy to me. And but they're literally on the East Coast anyway, the largest meat shipping industry. And like I said, a couple of years prior, there was huge news that they were shipping meats that they've like mass produced and were shipping in other countries. And one of them was, of course, the US, but they were popped eventually. Yeah. So there's no telling. To me, it seems like they, it's like, well, why not get the biggest East Coast supplier of meats to offload, pay an outrageous, enormous number that nobody would even, based on our recent bust, right? I'm trying to think like them, right? Based on our recent bust, let's give it a few years to like lay it down and then buy out the largest East Coast meats company, a number they can't refuse, to offload the rest of our stock. That's just what it seems to me. It makes perfect. If I'm gonna think like a criminal, you know what I'm saying? That would be the perfect hustle.
Smithfield and Tyson are ruling over the East Coast. And another thing, you all are trying to figure out what's inside of these vaccinations and stuff like that. What do they test them on? What do they test these things on? So how does that work? What is a vaccination made of? What does it need? It needs a protein to be transferred. You would say a cell. In this helix, they need this. Where do they draw it from? They're not making it themselves. So what do, you place this vaccination, this live virus into an animal. From that process itself, if they become immune, the ones that become immune over a period of time and get immunity to it, they're going to draw the serum from that animal. So-called clean it up. Really should start checking out. We already know what animals we test on, what proteins they derive from that, and they'll tell you it's this right here, chemical made. Just start to think about it. Over 50 or 60 years ago, where were they getting the insulin from that they were giving diabetics?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Pigs.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do they test on all the time? The easier thing for them to test on.
Pigs.
Pigs, chimpanzees, rats.
Rats.
Things that they say that are similar to us immunity-wise.
But they happen to be the most abominable to the Most High. So that's kind of a strange. I mean,
stop letting them take your kids' adenoids and tonsils out. That is a defense system.
Yeah, well, that's just like somebody asked me about that. But I still have mine, same with my wisdom teeth.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's a trip. So my thing is, you know, they're gonna drive people based on fear, and it's something that everybody need to watch. Don't let them drive you on fear and make you do unwise decisions. Because the main driver behind it is money. Money is driven behind it, and if they need some casualties to put in that number, that they're gonna put some casualties there, and you just be part of that number. But the main thing is we got to be wise about what we're doing. They saying there's something out there, but if you know you can wash your hands, that's something you know you can do. You know you can sit there every time you come in. You should be washing your hands anyway, because I believe our sister Cheryl was already telling. That's something we should be doing automatically anyway. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you sanitize them, and you're good. And you're going on about your business. But let's stop sitting there letting them shake you, especially if you're listening to that fool, that president. He gonna tell you all kind of lies, and he's already trying to push something for a certain day to make sure that day happen. So if he's pushing for that day, which is not too far away, if he's pushing for that day, then that's automatically should tell you something. If he can do this day, something's not that serious here.
Would that be called a Bloody Sunday?
Yeah, exactly. But look at the smokes. If I'm sitting there saying, well, no matter what, I want to make sure this is ready in 2 weeks to where we can do this, but it's a pandemic out there. It's supposed to be a pandemic, but I'm gonna make sure in 2 weeks we're gonna have this taken care of. If you're gonna have that taken care of and you know that it's worldwide and you can take care of it in 2 weeks, was it really a pandemic?
No, I believe this thing was a plan,
Yeah.
and a lot of the governments knew it. They was protected by it because CIA was watching this thing. There's a video and an audio clip on NPR.com or .org about that Senator Richard Burr, when he was talking to the Intel Committee about this virus, what's going on in China. The CIA was giving them the information. He's on the Intel Committee. He was one of the ones that sold his stocks before it happened.
Got in trouble.
Yeah. So he was telling everybody what was going on that was in the Intel circle. Trump knew what was going on too. All of them know. They was told what this thing is doing and when it's coming this way. So they all know. They're in the loop.
Crazy. All this stuff been here. If it's such, like it's such a pendant, why are they still doing a presidential campaigning
Yep.
amongst people?
Yeah.
Why is he still having those interviews? It's popping up out of nowhere. You already had it. You've been eating it if you were eating that swine. It's been everywhere the whole time. Never went anywhere. This is why it's just popping up out of nowhere all of a sudden. What travels that fast besides air,
Yeah.
light, sound? That was quick.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be
And,
fooled.
there's another thing that China doing too. And the Europeans was doing it. They tried to do it, but they didn't like that it was kind of humane to the animals, which having these huge pig farms in buildings. And China right now, they're doing it in the rural areas. They got these huge pig farms, and they put them in buildings like apartments. And they're making them like 7 to 13 floors, 1,000 pigs per floor. And they're the largest manufacturing of pigs right now throughout the world. They say each building could produce 84,000 pigs a year.
So what do you think they do with all that pig meat? Don't you think they're like the mass producer grower? You know,
They're selling that meat around the world, just like
you know what I'm
with
saying?
the treaties and
They're
stuff.
freezing it.
Yeah, they're selling it around the world. The pig is the other white meat, so that's what a lot of people want.
Oh, they got that
They
right.
say
It's the other.
they say
it's
that
the
it's
other
a
white food.
demand for it, so it's a high demand for it, and they're producing it.
Well, all I can say is Israel, don't freak out.
Yep.
Our ancestor had spines. You get a spine. If you know how to do something, support your people in doing it. You can be an inventor too. You can learn how to make socks and jeans, all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Purify water on your own, from your own faucet. There's the thing, you can go out and get you some charcoal bamboo sticks or burn the wood yourself and get you some mixed activated charcoal. That'll clean your water. You can turn around when you're done using it for about 4 or 6 months, crush it up into your plant pots.
Hey, let me tell y'all this.
Then we're gonna go after you finish here. We're gonna go out.
If
Go ahead.
Any of y'all want to know some contract or easy fix it around the home type of work or contract work, I mean, just feel free. I will show you, teach you everything the tools that you may need. And it really, really quick. I mean, things are so simple that people if they just put their hand to the plow, they would really, you'd realize how simple it truly is. I think most people fear the outcome rather than just going through the process. And so there's always alternative ways to making money other than your job. If your job is shut down or closed down due to a pandemic or anything else, there's always other work to be done out there for somebody, barter or for money or whatever the case is. But one thing will always stand is somebody's going to need some kind of maintenance somewhere physically in their dwelling. And so I'm willing to share whatever that is. That's fine.
All right. So with that note, everybody go out. We'll be on Vimo tomorrow for our services and our teaching tomorrow. We will not be on YouTube. We will not be on YouTube again. So, but I still know people are gonna come over here and wait, but we will be on Vimo. But just letting you guys know, same thing. You got these brothers on here. Don't rush to anything. Just make sure you keep your hands clean. And people is panicking. No reason to panic. When you panic, you're gonna make rational and irrational decisions. So you want to make sure you can go through it. But then the same thing is they meeting everywhere, but they creating chaos and they just watching us run around like chaos. So y'all just keep that in there. And the main thing is just be safe. Make sure you guys keep your nose to the ground, keep your nose in the book, and just keep moving forward. And just watch around you. Make sure that, you know, they're trying to push any type of, you know, antidote that to do this, that to do that. There's no reason to go get something and nothing wrong with you. But I know some of us, we're going to sit there, we're going to listen to, you know, different things and different things that happen. So with that, I'll just tell you, everybody, just stay safe, stay prayerful, stay to the Most High, because He's in control of all things. And if you sit there and you don't do the things that He already showed you, then what falls on us, because you can't sit there and put it back the other way. So with that, I say to everybody, I appreciate everybody, but make sure, please, again, you know, it's nothing to where you need to send a lot of emails about where you're nervous. But you see, most people that was in here even right now, they're not nervous about anything because it's a smoke screen that's up here, and it makes no sense. So hopefully everybody then took and understood that. So until next time and tomorrow, I say to each and everybody, you know, have a good shalom, and I'll see everybody in the morning.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. Have a good shalom.